All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the stream. Welcome if you are new here. Thank you guys so much for joining me today and waiting patiently, as always, for the intro to finish up. I hope everybody is doing well today. It is Friday, January 9th. The days are just trucking along. Ray, what's up, man? Yeah, there's been a lot of interesting stuff going on recently, game news wise. Not a whole lot directly regarding PlayStation, but stuff revolving around PlayStation, which we're going to be talking about today. But yeah, GTA 6 is going to be a main topic that we're going to talk about. We got the Steam machine got leaked. We're going to be talking about what industry insider Jason Schreier recently had to say about GTA 6. How it's going to, it's going to be. Hold on here. Sorry, it's going to be doing pretty big things on PS5. We're going to be talking about that. We got an Xbox Direct coming up. We have PlayStation Pete, a member for 47 months at Playhouse No Limits Plus. Thank you for that, buddy. He says, MBG, I got the job. Taylor Swift will be outselling Madonna. Broke some of MJ, Elvis, and Beatles records. That's crazy, dude. Congratulations, PlayStation Pete. Big congratulations on that. I know that you've been having some struggles lately, man, so I'm really happy to hear that. Really happy to hear that you got the job, and I hope it works out well for you, bro. I do. So good job hanging in there, and appreciate you even through all that, still stopping by the channel and always showing support. So big congratulations, PlayStation Pete. It's big news. What do I think about RE9 having path tracing? I think that's pretty sick. Sick. You want an old school intro when you start up your PS6? An old school intro. Yeah, I don't know. I saw somebody ask like what do I think the PS6 is going to sound like or whatever. Like my assumption is that when the PS6 comes out, it's going to be radically different. It's going to be radically different, like a completely new UI, new sounds, new everything. That's traditionally how Sony has done things. It would be very surprising if they decided to change that now. Hi, MBG, how are you? Just wanted to ask if Fable is really coming to PS5 at some point. Yeah, no, it is. It is. Yeah, I encountered something interesting recently. Lady Gamer, I'm going to have to respectfully ask, like, chill out with that, all right? I told you, like, twice prior to me going live, I have too many mods. It has nothing to do with you. Like, I think you're taking it personal. It has nothing to do with you personally. I'm going to be going over my entire mod list soon, and I'm, going to have to be removing some people because it has nothing to do with them or them being bad mods or anything like that. It's literally because I have too many. Yeah. I've built up a whole trove of mods over the years, and some people I don't even think show up to the streams anymore. So I'm going to be going over that. So yeah, it's nothing personal. So just chill out. It's not a big deal. GTA 6 hasn't been delayed, at least not yet. I don't know why people keep saying it is. Well, dude, it's 2026. People are just going to say what they want to say. There doesn't have to be any truth to it. The Steam machine is going to be 950, between 950 and 1,000. Perfect image. Where's that coming from? Bro. What? C9, what's up, man? You want your house to shake when you boot up your PS6? I want my whole house to shake, bro. I mean, if you have the right sound system, you might be able to make that happen. You might be able to make that happen. Yeah, so we're going to be talking about some stuff today, guys. Before we do that, though, I got to tell you, man, Ooh, $1,000 Steam machine. I got to figure out where that's coming from. That sounds too high, bro. That sounds way too high. I'm going to check here. A Czech retailer leaks Steam machine $1,000 for 2 terabytes. What? 950 US dollars for the 512 gigabyte, 1,070 for the 2 terabyte. That's, both of those seem too high. And the difference between the 512 gigabyte model and the 2 terabyte model, there's not a big enough difference there. A little over $100 difference doesn't sound quite right. It seems like it might be a placeholder. Yeah. I'm thinking this is more of a placeholder. That thing comes in at $1,000. I mean, you're going to have some problems. Yeah, I'm not going to put too much stock in that. People are expecting a higher price point, but $1,000 seems like overkill, bro. Like, that would be nuts. I think if that thing comes in at $1,000, 99% of people are gonna be like, does it come with a stand? Sold separately, actually. Sold separately. So yeah, I want to let you guys know that we were going to be doing a morning with the missus today. Unfortunately, I had to cancel that. We're going to be doing it next week, which isn't a big deal because if we did it this week, it wasn't going to happen next week. So we're just going to push it into next week. The reason being is, as you guys know, I've been in the process of remodeling and redoing my basement. So I only got like one half of it done. And so yesterday I was like, all right, well, yes, by the way, I was planning on streaming yesterday, but I was like, okay, so I have a couple of hours in the morning. I'm going to do a little bit of work on the other side of the basement. And the other side of the basement is like the worst side. I mean, this is like operation, mold termination. Because it was bad. There was so much stuff that had to be cleaned out. And so I started working on it with Mrs. MBG in the morning, and it turned into a whole thing. And she kind of hurt her back. I mean, I'm kind of messed up too, but she hurt herself yesterday. So yeah, there's just no way it was gonna happen. But yesterday, that thing I'm sure you guys know, right? Where that thing happens where you're like, oh, I'm just going to do it for like an hour or two, just chip away at it. Before you know it, 4.5 hours goes by and you're like halfway, not halfway, but well, I guess it'd be like close to halfway done. And you're like, all right, I can't lose this momentum. I got to go all in. And Ray's like, I heard the mold. So our digital dude with a $5 chat says, what if the game Corey is working on is a tier game and not an Atreus game? That would be shocking. A tier game, dude. A tier game? That would be fascinating. I'm not sure how people would feel about that. I think people would be kind of annoyed. But I'd be down for it. Yeah, sure. That's an interesting one, though. Digital dude, I don't think I've heard anybody speculate that before. So that's very interesting. Am I going to talk about the 22,000 layoffs apparently happening at Xbox soon? We did talk about that in my last stream. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, apparently I've been upsetting some Xbox players recently, which is stupid to me, but, guess nothing has changed. But yeah, the point is, I ended up not streaming yesterday. I know by the way, I forgot to ask you guys, there was this event. There was this event yesterday, a new gaming event, and it's been getting like heavily criticized online. So I was feeling kind of bad because I'm like, I missed it. Maybe it's a good thing. Maybe it was a blessing in disguise where it's like, oh, well, I don't know. I saw people complaining about it. Did any of you guys watch it? I heard that it was apparently. I heard the pacing was really bad. I heard people saying that it felt more like a podcast, not like an event. Um, and I don't even know if there were any significant announcements, to be honest. So I know Avowed was announced for PS5, but yeah, I don't know. I was busy. I would do my body's like wrecked right now. I couldn't even walk last night. I moved so much shit, dude, and I did a lot. But I have good news. The deed is done. The job is completed. Mission passed. Cue GTA mission passed music. I did it. I didn't think I would, but I took care of everything yesterday. I took care of everything. So now my basement is. It's been a long time coming, man. I should have. Oh, dude. By the way, I wish I was streaming. I should have just streamed it. I'm stupid for not doing this. I should have just streamed the entirety of me redoing the basement and like cleaning everything out. Because at one point we were pulling out like the most random shit. There was like this container with a bunch of crap shoved into it, or no, sorry, it wasn't a container. It was a suitcase, like a traveling suitcase, and there was like this blanket in it, and it was all folded up, and I pulled it out, and I was trying to figure out what the hell it was, and it was a freaking Elder Scrolls blanket. And I was like, holy shit, an Elder Scrolls blanket. And Mrs. MBG was like, oh, cool, you should keep that. I'm like, hell no, I'm throwing this shit out. And I did. I literally shoved it right in the trash. It would have been S tier content right there, man. But I threw it out because it was like really old. I'm like, I don't know what the hell's on this thing. But that was, I don't even know where I got that. I'm going to be honest. Like, I was genuinely surprised when I found that. I'm like, when did I get this? Where did this come from? I'm not even a fan of Elder Scrolls. Maybe it wasn't even mine. Maybe I'm starting to think it wasn't even mine. I don't know. Oh, it's okay, Lady Gamer. I appreciate it. It's fine. It was a legit blanket. If it was a legit blanket, it might be worth some cash. Yeah, it's like I just threw out something worth like thousands of dollars. I would do that. But yeah, sorry, I'm starting off talk. I just wanted to let you guys know, like I told you I was going to stream yesterday. I was nowhere to be found. I literally started working on it at 9 in the morning. I didn't finish until pretty much like 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. So, yeah, I was honestly hoping like, oh, I hope I could stream tomorrow, dude. I don't know if I'm even going to be able to get out of bed, but I'm just so happy that it's done, man. I've been waiting. How do I renew my membership, MBG? Well, on my end, it says you have a membership. So, I think what happens is if you got gifted a membership, once it runs out after a month, you can renew it on your own if you still want to remain a member. But yeah, if you guys want to support the channel, there's a couple of ways you can do that. You can become a channel member. You can gift memberships. You guys dropped a lot of member gifts on the last stream, which I really appreciate. And I know a lot of people appreciate that. We did a extensive members lounge talking about Microsoft and the situation going on with Xbox. It was like over 3 hours long. So if you are a member, at some point you can go check that out. If you become a member, you gain access to content like that. You can consider dropping a super chat or direct donation as well. We're fan funded. I can only do this because you guys make it possible. So thank you for everything you do for the channel. Hold on. What is that? Okay. You only have 2 days left. Okay. Yeah. So you might be able to renew it now and then set it to like, auto renewal. If it's giving you trouble now, then you probably just have to wait until it is done, and then you can do it that way. The quality of games that Rockstar puts out and how they're optimized, I'm not worried about GTA on Xbox. They wouldn't put out a broken version on any console. They're a proud top tier studio. Yeah, so we're gonna get into the topics here. I tell you, man, like I've been seeing some weird replies, and reactions from people. Like, just I don't know, Xbox, like, I'm not trying to offend Xbox fans, and I don't really mean this if you're an Xbox fan here, like, I'm probably not even talking about you because you're probably not insecure, but I've been seeing some weird insecurities from Xbox fans on Twitter specifically. We have Mega iPod Music, who comes in and drops a single member
Thank
gift.
you. Appreciate it.
Wants to get us started today with the member goal, Mega iPod. Thank you for that, my friend. Let me add that to the count. Good stuff, man. Thank you. Yeah, you could always drop a single member gift as well. And any support you guys show is always appreciated. But yeah, like I thought it was interesting that we were getting some information about GTA 6 from, I would say, the industry's most reliable insider, or somebody who's considered like the most respectable insider because of their track record, that being Jason Schreier. GTA 6 Countdown says insider Jason Schreier shares new GTA 6 details. The last he heard, the game was not content complete. He believes it's really hard to say right now if the game will release in November, and doesn't think anyone at Rockstar Games is 100% certain that they'll make it. This release date feels a little bit more real than the fall 2025 or May 2026 date did. Developers are still finalizing missions, adding stuff, and deciding what makes it into the final game. He hopes they're done with that soon so they can start the bug fixing phase. Rockstar can't settle for anything less than perfection, as the stakes are incredibly high. The entire stock of Take-Two lives or dies on this game. They would rather let it slip again than release it in a compromised state. Take-Two's fiscal year ends late March 2027, so they have a little bit of buffer if they still want to release the game in the same fiscal year. He says PlayStation is the main platform of the game. Sony is planning their entire lineup around it, and he said, Jason Schreier calls GTA 6 essentially a PlayStation exclusive. And I reported on this on Twitter, and that got people upset, man. Which is so, like, I don't know why people get so upset about, like, surely you understand what's being said here. It's just weird to me. I'm not going to lie. It's just weird to me that every time I, pass off information like this or pass over information like this, the amount of people that I see that are still in some kind of strange denial about it's like, how could we be in denial at this point? And I mean that as sincerely as I can mean that, where it's like, bro, Halo is coming to PlayStation. Why are there people still thinking that games like Fable are not? And why is it that when people hear about PlayStation being the main platform for GTA, and you have somebody like Jason Schreier basically saying it's basically like a PlayStation exclusive, that gets people really upset. And it's like, okay, like I'm not sure why, but this is the reality. PlayStation exclusive that will launch day and date on Xbox. It's coming out on Xbox, so I don't understand this comment at all. So, listen, somebody says, so another year of no PlayStation games, eh? Yeah, I'll be playing it on Xbox. These are the replies with upvotes. Because it's like, bro, why are you guys this insecure, dude? I don't understand. Jason Schreier's saying the obvious. He's saying the obvious to a degree where it's like, I don't know. Maybe he's high-key trolling or low-key trolling, I mean to say. But it's just like, dude, the reason why people are going... The reason why he's saying it's basically a PlayStation exclusive is because it's going to basically be mostly irrelevant on Xbox, because Xbox itself is mostly irrelevant at this point, and that's not their fault. That's not Rockstar's fault. That's not Sony's fault. That's not the Xbox players' fault. That's Microsoft's fault. And so by the time GTA 6 comes out, like, dude, people like these people just don't. It's like, don't you realize Xbox was outsold by the next Playground, bro? You don't even know what that is. You don't even know what that is. And it outsold Xbox on Black Friday week in their home territory. Why do you think you have people like Jason Schreier out here saying it's basically a PlayStation exclusive? And I get it. It's like, well, so does this mean it's not releasing on Xbox? No, if you are still playing on a Series X or S, you can buy this game. But I just think that people, I think, kind of tend to play dumb at situations like this, you know? Where it's like, you really don't understand what Jason's saying. You really don't understand what he's saying? You sure? Okay. MBG, I had a back-to-back argument with several Xbox fans yesterday on Twitter about PS5 being the primary console for GTA. But I successfully made them look like idiots. Wear my sunglasses at night says, I'm completely shocked the console with the most sales that it's releasing on is seen as the main platform. I've seen it all now. Very shocking. It is. It is shocking. Apparently, like, dude, look, man. You know what I took this as? When I heard Jason say this, and to be honest, like, I had to go back and listen to it. When I heard him say this, my takeaway from that was, oh yeah, Sony does have the marketing rights. That was my takeaway. Like, when he said it's the main platform, I'm like, I think you're going to see PlayStation branding around this game. Maybe that's not what he meant. Maybe I am reading too much into it. But yeah, I mean, if you remove that angle from it, it's just like, yeah, it doesn't necessarily need to be said. But a part of me almost wonders how much Jason was maybe trying to, again, low-key troll Xbox players here. Because they're like, I'm just seeing people get more upset than I would have expected. Where I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know how. All right, well, we got to see how this thing's going to run on the Series S first. But shocking. News isn't slow. What are you talking about? Will there be a PS5 GTA 6 bundle? Probably. I'd be surprised if there wasn't. I have to admit, I would be surprised if there wasn't. My whole thing, though, is when I put my post out on Twitter, I said GTA 6 is going to quite literally be the biggest thing to ever happen to PlayStation. You know? And I meant that, man. People were kind of ignoring that I said that, but I feel like that was the much more relevant thing that I stated, where it's like, dude, like, we talk about Wolverine, we talk about Saros, we talk about Intergalactic, and all these games are going to be fantastic, I would assume. They're all looking good. I mean, Wolverine's looking amazing. Saros is looking great. But it really is true where it's like GTA 6 is going to, because I'm thinking about the history of PlayStation and I'm thinking to myself, like, what are some of the biggest moments in PlayStation history, right, that have like defined the brand and were like, you know, I guess you could say catalysts for the major success. I mean, one of the earliest things, or not earliest, one of the more recent things to me is something like God of War 2018 being revealed. Something like that is like, this is one of the biggest things you're ever going to do for it. Something like The Last of Us at the end of the PS3. You know, looking back to like the PS1 when they were undercutting the price, you know, $299 or whatever. The PS2, I mean, I know it's a little silly, but the PS2 basically being such a dominant force and having the DVD player where it's like, what's going to touch this? Nothing's going to touch this. It's interesting to me to think that like what GTA 6 is about to do is going to be bigger than all of that. More than likely. I can't think of anything it'll be that will eclipse, or that will not eclipse, because that implies it's going to happen in the future. I can't think of anything that has happened to PlayStation in the past that would be considered bigger for PlayStation than what GTA 6 is going to be. And Wear My Sunglasses at Night says, I can't wait for the training wheels to come off and we see the PC version, it's going to look insane. It probably will. I have to be honest, man. Like, I'm surprised that Rockstar isn't going for day one PC this time. I mean, I think maybe it is just simply they don't have the time. I think they don't have the time to properly. I mean, like, you just heard what Jason Schreier said. He's saying the game isn't even content complete yet. So it's like, yeah, I don't know, man, that the PC version of this game might take a little bit longer than people think. I'm thinking it might be like at least a year, but it could be longer. I mean, it's just crazy to me that like GTA 6 could get delayed again, but I do believe it because one of the things Jason says is that they're going for perfection with this game. They're not going to compromise it. If they have to delay it again to ensure it will be as close to perfect as it possibly can be, they will. And I'm like, that is crazy. That tells me that there is no Switch 2 version in development. That tells me that the PC version isn't even a thought yet. I think it's just going to be one of these things where, like, for example, even when the PS6 comes out, I don't think GTA 6 is going to be there right away. I think it'll be there within like a year or two after launch. And that could be around the time that they do the PC version. But Double Dip is the Rockstar way. 60 FPS is PS6 remasters. Yeah, so they'll do the PS5 version, the PS5 and Xbox Series version. Then like a year and a half later, maybe 2 years later, they'll do the PS6 and Xbox, maybe Xbox Magnus version. Then another year later, they'll do the I almost said the PSC, the PC version. And then like 3 years after that, they'll have like the Switch 2 version. And yeah, there's going to be people out there that buy every single version. But no, I have no doubt that when GTA 6 does come to PC, I'm curious. We don't even know what it's going to do on the PS5 yet, but I have no doubt that once it's optimized properly for the PC, seeing what people are doing right now with something like GTA 5 and the mods is like, geez, man, how far can we go here? And let me see. Hold on. Perfect image you're saying. My source says most likely content complete can mean a wide variety of things, like changes in the story to side content, possibly even the online portion, especially for a massive project. Yeah, that's another thing I was thinking. I don't think GTA Online is going to launch day one with GTA 6. I think that's going to be something that launches like maybe even a couple months later. You're saying PC is rumored 2027 if no delay on console. Are we thinking like, well, so if that's true, right, assuming there is no delay, it comes out holiday 2026, November 2026, then if they're going to do a PC version in 2027, my assumption at that point is they'll do a next-gen version / PC version probably the next holiday season, right? That seems like it would be the best way to go about it. I'd be really interested to see if they could pull that off. If they really want to maximize sales, I think having a year gap would probably be best. You go 6 months, I think, I don't know, you might cause some people to be like, oh, okay, I'll wait. Because the thing about GTA 6 is I think this is one of the only games, truly one of the only games that will convince hardcore PC players to buy a console to play. And it's obviously, it doesn't really matter. Like, console sales don't matter that much to Take-Two Interactive, but when you consider how important the success of GTA 6 is, and it's only tethered to consoles right now, yeah, I mean, I think that they kind of have an understanding that they're going to sell a lot of consoles. Their game alone is going to sell a lot of consoles. A lot of people who otherwise would not touch a PS5 or an Xbox Series console, for that matter, will go out and buy one just for this one game. And then does that mean when it comes out to something like PC or something else, they'll drop the console? Probably. But Xbox is going down, boy. Gaming Survivors in a fighting mood again, I see. I keep saying PlayStation Direct. I kept reading that. You kept saying PlayStation Direct. I'm like, are you talking about State of Play? But yeah, so Xbox did announce a direct, which we're going to talk about that as well. If you want to play GTA 6 right away, yeah, you're going to need to get a console. This is why I'm saying, dude, like, Sony didn't pay for this, by the way. That's the important thing. When I say that GTA 6 is going to be the biggest thing that ever happened to PlayStation, it's also funny to think that it's also something Sony has almost nothing to do with, in that it just so happens that when like GTA 3 and Vice City and San Andreas came out, they were kind of like PlayStation exclusives. I think, if I recall, we found out like a while ago that Xbox or Microsoft turned down GTA 3 exclusivity or something like that, which was nuts. Like, looking back on that, it's like, oh my God, that has to be one of the biggest like ball drop moments ever, right? The great fumbling of the GTA 3 exclusivity. And I think from that point forward, like, you could argue that tracing that back, then, you know, games like GTA 3, Vice City, San Andreas, they all did go to Xbox eventually, but they just kind of had this window of time on PlayStation. And Sony, like, as far as I'm aware, like, Sony never paid for that. That was never like a, hey, how much do you want for us to make this a timed exclusive? I don't think that was ever the case. But when you look at something like GTA 6, yeah, it's coming out on the Xbox Series day one, but you know, the reality is the PlayStation 5 is the relevant console for this game. And even just having, if they get like 12 months, if this game is only on PlayStation for 12 months, Sony's going to see record highs on everything. And when I say record highs, I'm talking by quite a few margins. Like I mean by like orders of magnitude potentially, you know. You're going to see, I think, Sony being like, "Oh my God." And that's just and I think once GTA goes to PC, if it does go to Switch 2, it'll have the same impact over there. But I just think the fact that Sony's the first one, that's the important thing, is the fact that PlayStation is the first one. And here's the thing, like, because I've seen people bringing this up as well. They're like, well, if it's going to do all that for PlayStation, can it do that for Xbox as well? And I think the answer to that question is no. And I know that may seem unfair, but I actually have a good reason for that. The reason I don't think it's going to do anywhere near the same thing for Xbox, frankly, is because of the pricing of the Xbox consoles. I think that when people are trying to make a decision of like, where should I buy GTA 6? These are the two platforms. They're going to see the PS5 is the more affordable option. And they're also probably, again, if Sony has that marketing, they're going to see that marketing all around it. And they're just be like, yeah, that's where I play GTA. And Chasing Everything comes in and drops another single member gift for you guys. Chasing Everything, thank you for that, buddy.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I'm going to add that to the counter. So love to see it. Thank you for the support, man. But yeah, I don't think, like, don't get me wrong, I think it will help Xbox in the short term, where like they'll see some revenue boosts, they'll see some higher engagement on the platform. But like, dude, I saw people getting so insecure in my Twitter replies that they were saying like, there's probably more active users on Xbox than there are PlayStation. Like, nobody even plays on PlayStation. Like, people just bought PlayStations and they're just sitting there collecting dust. And I'm like, you literally have no idea what you're talking about. Like, this is the epitome of talking out your ass, you know? Like, come on, bro. Like, and nobody even said it's going to do bad on Xbox. Nobody even said that. And Ray comes in, Metal Gear Ray.
But that was some fancy shooting. You're pretty good.
Ray, thank you, my man, for another 5 gifted memberships. He wants to do some serious chip damage to the 25 goal here. So much appreciated, my friend. Thank you. I'm eating fried chicken. Productivity is going to die this afternoon. I actually just had some fried chicken myself, Gaming Survivor. Yep. MBG, Sony's going to be able to eat off of GTA 6 numbers for at least 2 years. Everything else will be a bonus. Well, I came across this video yesterday, and I was thinking about maybe, I didn't watch the whole thing. I watched like the first 2 or 3 minutes. I was thinking about maybe reacting to it in an upcoming members lounge, but it was from Captain Cuba, I think his name is. He is kind of like a God of War YouTuber, and this video he made like popped off, and it was talking about God of War going to Egypt, and he was getting like really deep into the lore and speculating as to why it wouldn't make sense to go to Egypt, although he still thinks it's going to. But one of the things he started the video with, and I didn't realize this, was highlighting that if the next mainline God of War game isn't announced this year, then that'll be the longest period of time Sony has ever went without announcing a new mainline God of War game. And that really just kind of like triggered something in my brain where I'm like, really? Chasing Everything says, that's what I'm talking about, guys. Let's get this member train going. Chasing Everything wants a member train. Well, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, I mean, by all means, whenever you guys want to get a member train started, that's on you. You never know when it might strike. But like, yeah, I was just sitting back and I'm thinking like, yeah, this is kind of weird. And I've been listening to like other PlayStation YouTubers and YouTube channels giving their predictions for PlayStation. And like, it just started to become clear that like all of these projects and studios are just MIA. Like, where's Fair Games? Where's Media Molecule? You know, like we didn't hear from Sony Bend or Blue Point. We know their games got canceled, but we still aren't hearing from them. You know, what about Naughty Dog's second project? And like, yeah, where is Santa Monica? And it just goes on and on and on. And I started to like kind of realize like, I think this might be the result. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing per se. I think this might be the result of Sony realizing that they basically won this generation a year or two ago. But, and this is where like the next level of it comes in. It's not even just about winning the generation, because I think in the past, Sony had to make sure to win the generation whenever they were competing in the console space, or try to win the generation, but maintain the momentum. Like, you got to keep the pressure on. And I think what kind of changed everything for Sony was the realization that, bro, not only did you like totally outpace your competitor left the race. Like, you don't have to worry about them catching up to you. Like, they're not racing anymore. They're done. They forfeited. And I think that has changed Sony's view of how they want to handle announcements and their first party studios and their lineups, because yeah, they don't, and I know some people see this as a bad thing, and it does have some downsides, but they don't have any urgency where it's like, we need to reveal the new God of War now. It's like, why? Like, I don't know. I guess just to make sure that God of War fans are satiated. But in reality, it's like, well, we got Wolverine, we got Marathon, we got Soros, we got GTA 6 coming this year, we got a ton of third parties, we got Xbox exclusives coming over. Maybe we save God of War for next year's PlayStation 6 event. You see, and I just start to realize that I think Sony's saving a lot of cards to play for that PS6 event, or the next proper showcase they do, which I don't, my assumption is whenever they do a showcase again, it will be probably next year with the PS6. I think that's a safe guess. Perfect Image, I'm sorry, man. I'm trying to keep up. Saying also, if we take what Rockstar said in November at face value and they're in polishing stages, then yeah, it is reasonable to assume that the story is complete. Well, okay, so let me talk about that for a moment. Do we think GTA 6 is going to get delayed? No, I don't think so. I mean, look, I'll put it to you this way. I think if it does get delayed, it's not going to be that big of a deal. I think if it gets delayed, we're talking 3 more months, and I think people will be annoyed, but I think in reality, people will realize, like, this is it. Like, okay, we've waited this long, just 3 more months. It's out February, March 2027. Let's go. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, if it does suffer another delay, it's going to be, it's basically going to feel negligible ultimately. So, I know that's a weird way to answer the question, but yeah, I think that the window of time that GTA 6 releases is locked in to their Take-Two Interactive's fiscal year 2027. And that ends March 2027. So I think they're locked in. I think even if GTA 6 does experience one more delay where they're like, listen, guys, we are at 99%. We need the next 3 months to get to that 100%. And I think people will be more understanding. Like, people are going to have a collective sigh. But, I just think that, I mean, yeah, could it be? Listen, could GTA 6 be delayed out of their fiscal year? It's possible, but man, that would be it would do serious damage to Take-Two Interactive at that point. So they're probably not going to let that happen. But yeah, I don't think it's going to get delayed. I actually think it will hit its November release, and when it does, I think it's going to be. God, man, I cannot wait to see what happens when GTA 6 launches. It's going to be monumental, bro. We're never going to see anything quite like it. Wear my sunglasses out, or sorry, I almost said outside at night. Says Sony porting to PC is insane. Why, if money is so good? I don't think Sony porting to PC is insane. I don't. I think that the money hasn't been that good. I think that's the problem. I think the problem, like if we're talking about Sony porting their games to PC, I think the real problem is that they were hoping the money would be good, and the money was just, this isn't very good at all, actually, except for Helldivers 2. Hence why I think their live service games are always going to be day one on PC. But I think from Sony's perspective, they probably just figure like, well, we can still support PC, but maybe put less of a focus on it and more of a focus on just selling the hardware. Because the truth is, if they can convince one person, right, like with something like Wolverine being exclusive to PS5, like, did you choose to buy this PS5 because Wolverine's exclusive? Even if that person ultimately ends up walking away from the PS5 after their purchase, where they're like, yeah, this was basically my Wolverine machine, now it's going to collect dust, that's still more beneficial to Sony than if that person chose to buy the game on PC, because there is always the possibility that they could return to their PS5, that they might put something else out to bring them in, or maybe they'll just change their mind and a year later they'll start using it more, whatever, it increases their chances of a higher level of engagement. And I think I could be wrong about this. I'm purely speculating, but the speculation is based off of the way Sony's been handling this and the way that they've been behaving over the last 12 months. It seems to me like they had a really aggressive push for PC to get a lot of data and to see how much money they could make. They really only had one major success on PC, maybe 2 or 3 if you count Ghost of Tsushima and Horizon Zero Dawn. Outside of that, everything else has been pretty mid in terms of its performance on PC. And so I think with the new leadership in charge, they may have just figured we got GTA 6 coming. We got a pretty solid lineup of games. Sales are going good. Let's just try to push as many as we can, and not really worry too much about PC. But then, I could be wrong. Maybe they're going to have a slew of PC announcements coming up this year, but I'll just put it to you this way. I think that there was a lot of concern from different groups, including people at Sony, that if we put our games on PC, it's going to hurt our console sales. I think that they saw that, no, it's not hurting their console sales. And so the flip side of that is, okay, well, surely our games should be selling well on PC then. And it's well, not really. So I just think that from Sony's perspective, I don't know if it's worth the rip, man. I don't know if it's worth the effort. But, we'll see. Will Ghost of Yotei go to PC? I'm thinking, yeah, probably. Will games like Wolverine eventually go to PC? Yeah, probably. I'd be surprised if they didn't. MBG, I just saw you said PSSR would be FSR4 or better, but everything I heard has been saying it will be a lesser version of FSR4 because the PS5 Pro is missing key hardware. Dude, people are like hounding me on that, and I'm like, bro, I'm just going based off of what Mark Cerny himself said. Like, don't shoot the messenger. Mark Cerny said that PSSR 2.0, when it comes out this year, will be the equivalent. Basically, he says it's the full fat version of FSR4. That's a quote. The full fat version of FSR4. It's going to be no compromises, no nothing. So what you see in FSR4, so it's like, what does that mean? If he's saying the full fat version of FSR4, what do we interpret that to mean? That can only be interpreted one way. He's saying it's going to be just as good as FSR4. Now, when I put in that tweet, when I said it could be better, that's me speculating. I'm basing that speculation off of the fact that, we learned from Moore's Law is Dead that apparently behind the scenes, Sony is offering more development tools for PSSR for devs to use than even AMD is for FSR. So that tells me that there's a potential, there's a real chance that the results could be even better than we're expecting, even better than what we've seen up until this point. But I don't want to get ahead of myself. I'm just saying I think there's something to look forward to here. Michael Marin, you're saying, MBG, did you watch the Game Economist video? No, because I'm saving that, Michael. I'm going to save it for an upcoming members lounge. So I'll let you know, probably either next week or the week after when we do another big members lounge. I'll react to that. I'll be really curious to see it. And where my sunglasses are saying doubtful, he's a PR man. Remember his SSD BS. No, I don't think his SSD stuff was BS, bro. Because I'll put it to you this way. I think there's a difference between bullshit, like I'm bullshitting you. I think there's a difference between that and an engineer actually being hopeful for, I think this thing might do A, B, and C. And that's what I'm hoping for. And I think it just turned out in the case of what Mark Cerny said about the SSD. All right, Michael, when he said that he's hoping devs will be able to kind of transform game development and really come up with new things, I think he was really, I guess I'm saying, I think he thought he was really on to something there, but even he was saying we won't know till it gets in the developers' hands. And I think we kind of found out that, all right, well, it's one of those things where in theory, on paper, it seems like it could be this big thing, but in reality, I think it's just because you have to remember when Mark Cerny was talking about the SSD, he was saying, what's the number one thing that developers were focused on and asking for? That's what they were saying. So it's understandable that Mark Cerny's probably trying to approach it from an angle of all right, well, if that's what devs really want, then surely there's a way to revolutionize game development through the SSD then. And I think he tried to come up with something, but it's just not really. They just want faster load times and just better, read-write speeds and all that stuff. It's oh, okay, well, that's good too. And wear my sunglasses, you're saying, bro, acted like Ratchet could only run on PS5. Well, yeah, I mean, it was kind of funny to see Ratchet and Clank used as this is only possible on PS5, and then it's okay, we're putting this on PC now. It's okay, well, how low can the specs go? It's they could go pretty low. All right, well, but that's what I'm saying. Every time we talk about the PlayStation 6, this is what makes me so interested in knowing. People, I think, are going to be less inclined to believe in a greater vision, unless it's really sold. I mean, very well this time, where it's got not even sold, but it's got to be shown. I guess what I'm trying to say is I think something like Ratchet and Clank, because I do think at the time it was impressive, where it's yeah, this looks really good, dude. This looks awesome. And you see the teleportation through the portals instantaneously, and you're oh shit. I do believe this couldn't run on PS4 because it just looks that crazy. I think it's going to need to go beyond that. And that to me is where it's like, good luck. And I mean that sincerely. I'm not saying that facetiously. Like, I mean, good luck. It's going to be a tough sell. You're going to have to really be on point and figure out what you think is going to wow people, because it's going to be harder this time. And that's another reason why I think Sony's holding back all these games, dude. Because I just think they're like, save it for the PS6. Save it for the PS6, dude. We're going to need it. We're going to need it. No reason why the dimension hopping and Rift Apart could take a few more seconds. Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, I guess they could do that if they really thought it was worth porting it to PS4. It's like a couple seconds of load. It could also be that a lot of what Sony was doing for the PS5 build-up was just experimentation, trying to gauge how people are going to react to something like, exclusives that can only do these special things versus, stuff like the DualSense and the speed of load times, and kind of taking we know Jim Ryan was a fan of the shotgun approach. We do know that, right? So it wouldn't surprise me if Jim was just like, attack it from all angles. If the DualSense doesn't do it for you, it's the speed of the SSD. If the speed of the SSD doesn't do it for you, it's the game-changing nature of this exclusive that'll do it for you, and so on and so forth. If it's not that, it's going to be the revolutionary UI. It's just like everything at once. You think God of War could sell PS6 power if they go all out? Yeah, well, I don't know what the future of PlayStation exclusivity looks like, man. MBG, there's a rumor the Steam machine is going to be $1,000 at launch and only available to purchase from their website with no major retail stores. I don't think that's a good idea. Yeah, the pricing of it we mentioned earlier, I think that's a placeholder. Them selling it from their own website, though, and not being in retail, that sounds very much like a Valve move. I think that is what they're going to do. Will it be a bad idea? I don't think so. Because I don't think Valve, I think it's becoming obvious that Valve is not in this to sell volume. It's going to be a niche product, so. Yeah, exactly. That's how the Steam Deck was sold. I think they're going to take the same approach, basically. No, Tarnish. We don't know yet. That hasn't been confirmed. It's on one retail website that's saying it's going to be over $1,000. But a lot of people are thinking that's a placeholder. Valve does as they please and can't stop winning. It needs to be another Xbox situation. Yeah, but that's what's funny, though, is that I think the difference is like Valve is better positioned for that than Microsoft is. I think Microsoft is taking that position because they have no choice. And that, I think, makes it look a lot worse. Valve, I feel like from day one was like, yeah, we don't care. And I think people kind of respected that, where it's like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, all right, cool. This is fine, right? Like, well, if you're interested in it, buy it. If not, it's fine. No big deal. Anyway, here's another Steam sale. And I feel like with Microsoft, it turned into that, but it turned into that because they realized, like, okay, we have to say we don't care because we can't care. Because every time we tried to care, it didn't work. So let me celebrate their failure. Why are you denying it? Whoa. Celebrate away, Tarnished. It's up to you. You can celebrate PlayStation's failure if you want to, Xbox's failure, Nintendo's failure. Who am I to judge? Valve are only targeting SD users playing docked. I'm starting to think that too. Yeah, I'm starting to think more and more that Valve, as time goes on and we get further removed from the reveal of the Steam machine, I feel like my mindset on it has completely flipped, or almost completely flipped, where, I mean, maybe it was just kind of getting caught up in how excited some people were acting on the internet, but thinking that, I think this might be a real competitor to the PS5. But the greater realization that's dawned on me is that No, the Steam Machine's not going to be a competitor to the PS5 because nothing's going to be a competitor to the PS5 because there isn't going to be competition. It's just simply going to be these companies trying to navigate a massive storm where it's every man for themselves. And I think where we are now, early 2026, what we see ahead of us, the reports that we're seeing now and the things that we're seeing discussed now, and even some of the announcements that are happening right now, I think pretty much tell you that it's exactly that. It's every man for themselves. And, there's going to be some winners, there's going to be some survivors, and there's going to be some losers. And it ain't going to be pretty. Tell you what, it ain't going to be pretty. MBG, do these Xbots not realize that they can have a new Xbox console right now? I have one at home on my desk. Yeah, I talk about that too, Nicodemus. I think that here's what I've kind of settled on, right? When we talk about Magnus, I think that there still obviously are diehard Xbox fans that are just they won't let go, right? And these are the fans that literally, like, if Xbox were to end, like if Microsoft were to come out and say we're canceling Magnus and we're done making Xbox, these are people that, like, going forward would just continue to play on their old Xbox hardware and fantasize about what could have been, which is fine. I mean, that's, that happens sometimes. And so I think really what those people want from Microsoft with this Xbox Magnus device is to, like, basically, like, just tell me it's an Xbox. Like, Microsoft, if you tell me this is an Xbox, I'll believe you and I'll say thank you because I just want Xbox to live. Dude, I'm telling you, man, it reminds me of the whole Windows Phone situation. Like, there were some really, really diehard Windows Phone users that when it became clear that Microsoft was done, like, they were wrapping up Windows Phone, it's canceled, it's over, they're not making anymore. And then they were still making Surface devices. I remember there was like a group of really hardcore Windows Phone fans that were like, "Can you please make a Surface phone? Like, please just like make a Windows device that can be used as a phone." And actually, funnily enough, Microsoft did. That's the funny thing. Like, they actually made, like, years later, this foldable Surface phone thing that was like absurdly priced. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? It was like $1,400 or something, and like nobody bought it except literally like 10 people. And I haven't heard of it since, but they actually did it. Where it was almost like a small little micro Surface laptop, but you could fold it backwards to like make phone calls or something. And I'm like, oh wow, they actually did it for literally the 10 people who were screaming, "Please give me something." I think that's what we're looking at. Oh, perfect image. He knows. That's what I think we're looking at with Xbox Magnus. Is I think that there's just this really diehard group of fans that are like, I just give me something that looks like it could be an Xbox. Tell me it's an Xbox. Tell me what I want to hear, and I'll be there. Just make me believe it's still what I want it to be. And I kind of, from a really enthusiastic fan perspective, I understand that because I could see myself wanting Sony to do something similar, where I imagine, like, in the I would assume it would be the distant future or midterm future, where PlayStation's maybe gone beyond the console and the console is like almost irrelevant at this point. I would probably be one of those people like, Sony, please still make a console. Like, please, like, I don't care if only like a couple hundred people buy it. I don't care how expensive it is. Like, I just don't make me have to go somewhere else. Just don't make me have to leave. Don't force me to leave. I don't want to leave. And I think, yeah, that's what we're seeing with the Xbox side of things. And so, I think it is a little bit, that's what I think separates it from the Steam machine. Because the Steam machine, I think, is more of like an extension of the Steam Deck. It's more of an extension of, oh yeah, like, there's a group of PC enthusiasts or Steam enthusiasts that would like to have a device like this. It may not even be their main driver, but just like the Steam Deck isn't necessarily their main driver, it makes it feel more like some kind of unified ecosystem of some kind, you know? The Surface Duo 2. Oh my God. Hold on. Where are my sunglasses? Give me 1 second. I got to look this thing up and see if it's still sold. Surface Duo 2. The Microsoft Surface Duo 2 is a discontinued dual screen Android smartphone. Microsoft ended support in late 2024. Wow, they ended that real quick. How much was this thing? Let me see how much you can buy them for now. That's so funny. It's like $600. I see one on eBay for $1,100. That's crazy. That's funny that they even made it. See, that's what's funny to me about Microsoft is they will make this crap. Like they knew this was going to be a mega ultra failure. No one's going to buy it, but they're like, oh, just make it. You know, it's just whatever. Just throw them a bone, bro. You're saying Microsoft is leaving gaming. Gaming only makes billions, but they are in the business of making trillions. Higher ups will shut it down in the next 5 years. That's a crazy take, dude. That's a wild take, I think. I mean, I think a lot would have to happen. A lot. I think a lot would have to happen to make Microsoft actually leave gaming. I mean, if I'm thinking about the next 5 years, 5 to 7 years, I mean, you know what I think could do it? If Call of Duty fails, like if Call of Duty is actually on its way out, I don't think it is, but like, let's just say 5 years from now, Call of Duty is like in the dumpster, and we look back and it's like, yeah, Black Ops 7 was the beginning of the end. Like that was not just like a trip up. Like that was actually them starting to go all the way downhill. If something like that happened, I could see the Xbox brand maybe being sold off or spun off or something. Like I could see Microsoft decoupling themselves from it. Because what you're saying is true from a business perspective. They are a $3.8 trillion company pushing to become a $4 trillion company. Like they're looking to make trillions upon trillions. And the only way they can make that happen is by ensuring that every division under the Microsoft banner is operating at the utmost, efficiency. Like efficiency has to be at the center of that. It has to be, just, there can be no weak spots. There can be no, oh, well, we don't have to worry about that. That's a side project. There are no side projects. There is no experimentation. There's just the way forward to make 4 trillion turn into 5 trillion and 5 trillion to eventually turn into 7 trillion. And, these corporations, this is how they're operating now. And so, I do think that gaming, the problem though with Microsoft getting out of gaming is that it's like, bro, gaming is one of the most lucrative industries, or it can be. And that's why I would say like something like Call of Duty failing in the long run would be enough to get Microsoft to leave, because it's like you pay almost $80 billion for Call of, or like $70 billion for Call of Duty just for the next 5 years for it to go down the toilet. We've seen this happen. Like, I think people don't realize this when it comes to Microsoft as a company. This has happened over and over again. This has happened with, the Windows Phone. They bought Nokia. They did this with Zune. They did this with, what was it? Their streaming service. Do you guys remember that? They bought Beam, I think, right? Or did they rename it Beam? I don't remember. How do I even know that? What? I did say Zune, yeah. But they bought like this up and coming streaming service. They Mixer, that's what they turned it into. They were trying to make Mixer like the next Twitch, and they even bought Ninja. They gave them like a crazy contract, and that didn't do anything. And I'm just saying, like, this is how Microsoft has operated under Satya Nadella, where it's like, we will take big risks and spend a lot of money. They'll spend a lot of capital on major investments, but if those investments don't start making big returns very quickly, they will drop that shit, dude. And that's just the name of the game. That's literally how Satya Nadella has operated since he became CEO in 2014. And there's no reason to think that Xbox and their gaming division would be treated any differently. I'll tell you what, people should realize by now, and you know, I know you guys do, and I know most people do, but like yesterday, for example, when I was posting about Fable, so we talk about the upcoming Xbox Developer Direct. Microsoft confirmed there's a Direct happening on January 22nd. Two Microsoft games that are going to be there are Fable and Forza Horizon 6. And as of right now, Fable has not been announced to be coming to PlayStation 5. But, you know, it's obvious. Like, yes, this is going to be a PlayStation 5 game. And the amount of people that I encountered that were like, shockingly, still kind of like, no, it's not. Like, oh, where's that coming from? It's like, what are you talking about? Like, what do you mean? Like, well, yeah, I know Halo's coming to PlayStation, but who said Fable is? And it's like, huh? Like, what are you talking about? And it's just weird, you know? Yeah, wait, who deleted that? Who just removed this man's message for saying Xbox is awesome in 2026? He's allowed. No, that's fine. Undo that. He's allowed this. This man is allowed to have his preference. I'm just kidding. Get him out of here. I know. I'm playing. I'm playing. He's a bot. Oh, he's doing automated spamming. Hold on. Let me go. I have to go investigate. It would be gaming. Oh my God. Oh, you're right. You're actually right. Damn. Okay. Dude, I don't think that's a real person. That's really weird. I was just looking over all their messages. That's so creepy. All right, Gaming Survivor, thank you. Yeah, that shit creeps me out on the internet these days. Like, at first it seems real, and then you look it over and you're like, oh my God, this isn't real. This is what I'm saying. What are these AI bots? What are they doing on my channel? Oh, my back. All the streaming, man. It's not good for my back. I'm just kidding. Oh, by the way, Gaming Survivor, I think you tuned in a little bit late, but at the beginning of the stream, I was saying that the reason why I didn't stream yesterday was because I was redoing the second half of my basement, the other half, and I was calling it Operation Mold Termination. Mrs. MBG was helping me a lot. She did a lot too, and man, it was brutal, bro. I mean, this was like level 10, level 9 or 10 difficulty in Helldivers. I had to call in quite a few stratagems. It was bad. But the good news is it's all good now. I finished it. So dude, I should have streamed it. I know I say that shit and then I'm all talk, but I should have streamed it. It would have been like some of the best content ever. Wear my sunglasses. You're saying Microsoft likely turn over what Sony is worth each year. They care less about gaming / Xbox than we do. Probably more Xbox talk here than a Microsoft boardroom, I bet. Yo, yeah, you might be right. More than the Microsoft boardroom. Yeah, sadly. Well, what's interesting is, was there no mold on the walls or anything? No, there was just a couple of spots on the floor so like on that side of the basement, it's been pretty well known to get flooding. Well, not well known. Like, it's only happened a few times, but there was flooding over there. And we had like these old boxes that had clothes and stuff in them from when we first moved here, and we just like never cleared it out. And so there was like a few spots where I had to I mean, like the cardboard was like stuck to the ground and shit, and I had to like fucking chip away at it. And then to be honest, I don't think there was actually much mold, because what I thought was black mold was actually mostly dirt. And I think it was because like the water. Oh no, I got moldicide paint that I used just in case. Yeah, you should have seen me. I should have filmed it, bro. I had the moldicide paint, and I'm on the ground, and I'm rolling this shit, and I'm doing like thick coats. I'm like, just in case. This is the stratagem, you know? And but no, actually a lot of it that I was going over, I'm like looking at, I'm like, oh, that must be black mold. And then I would like, so first I would like sweep it, and then it was just dirt. It was actually mostly just dirt. And I'm like, oh, okay. So that's good. So there's actually like way less than what was expected. But there were still a few spots. So I'm like, okay, I don't know what the fuck's going on there. So time to kill this shit, you know? And it's I will say though, not to keep talking about it, but I'm quite surprised. I didn't think I was gonna be able to. I mean, we overhauled the entire basement yesterday, and I thought for sure like I'm only gonna be able to get like halfway done. Shout out to Mrs. MBG for helping as much as she did, because we wouldn't be able to finish it. It turned out really good. Like it's you know, compared to what I should have done a before and after picture. It's crazy. Who are you gonna call mold busters? Pretty much. But yeah, now I'm gonna have to going forward, whenever we get really, really bad rainstorms, I have to be careful about that and keep a close eye on it, because it shouldn't be nearly as much of a problem now, though, because really it was just the problem was when we first moved into this house, we just threw all this shit in that corner of the basement, because like I don't know what the fuck any of this is. I don't even know why it just seemed like stuff we may need. And it was like crazy, like going through all of it. Like I put so much trash to the curb. Dude, that I was like, I don't know if they're even going to take all this. It was crazy. And then they were like, dude, there were people, as I was putting this shit to the curb, stopping by and like trying to trash pick it. And I had to go out there and tell them like, stop. Like, and this was all bagged up, by the way. Like they were trying to like pick through the bags. I'm like, stop. Go away. Like I had to tell them, I'm like, there's like, this stuff's probably moldy. Like you don't want this. And it was just so weird. I'm like, who are you people? Why are you? I literally just put this shit out like an hour ago. What did you guys know I was going to be doing this? It was so weird. It was so weird, man. But that was my day yesterday. So anyway, all right. Where were we? I'm trying to start The Last of Us in real life. I did use vinegar. Gaming Strider, I did use vinegar, by the way, at one point. The vinegar stratagem. So there was this one spot. Okay. And to be fair, like I didn't even know about this. It was like under the basement steps. There was like this blanket. Okay. And dude, it was like scary at one. I'm like, am I gonna find something? Am I gonna find like a dead animal back here, some shit? And I'm making it sound worse than it was, but you know, I'm like fucking filthy at this point, bro. I am filthy. I'm like, I need to cleanse myself, but this was like the last thing I had to do for the day. And I had to like pry this blanket. I'm like, what the fuck even happened here? And I pried this blanket, and this blanket was no longer, it was like a solid object. I'm not kidding. It was like completely solidified and like petrified. And so I had to like bag that shit up. I took that out immediately. And I looked at the ground and I'm like, okay, there's definitely a little bit of mold here. But there was like this hue of like red. And I'm like, I don't know if that was from the blanket or something, or like the color from the blanket like bleeding in. But I'm like, you know what? I ain't taking any chances. I got a whole thing of vinegar. I like just like cut it and I just dumped it. Dude, shit was like sizzling. It was like, tss, and I'm like, am I about to create some kind of like deadly noxious gas accidentally here? So I was wearing a mask. And in that moment, I was like, I literally just deployed the vinegar stratagem, but I just let it like sit there and sizzle for like 30 minutes. And then I like mopped it all up and everything and cleaned it up. And I'm sorry. I'm eating food right now. I'm sorry. But oh yeah, I was wearing some protective gear. Yeah. At one point I was like, man, when I poured that vinegar, I'm like, I'm about to double mask because this shit is vinegar is strong, dude. Like, this smell of vinegar is so strong, it's so potent, but crazy times, bro. Crazy. I'm not gonna lie though, I'm feeling kind of proud. Sorry, I know I'm deviating from gaming, but I'm feeling proud because I'm like, this shit has been weighing on me for like years now, where I'm like, I gotta do this at some point. And I'm like, when you choose to do this, it's gonna be a nightmare. And it was. This was like one of the hardest things I ever did. Like, I'm in so much pain right now, but I'm just glad it's done. And hopefully that'll be the last of it. I disturbed the mold. Yeah, they was like screaming at me. Dude, literally, that's what it was like. You're like, MBG, the sizzles like when you throw holy water on a possessed bro. It was just like that. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, I'm gonna go upstairs for a little bit now. I don't know what's going on here. Started to hear like screams or something, man. It was something bad was going on there. All right. Back to gaming though. Yeah, basically, so that's the mold was like the Xbox console or just Xbox in general, and me with the vinegar pouring it was like Microsoft or like Satya Nadella and Amy Hood. Okay. And there we go. You weren't down with the sickness. Watch out for those spores. Yeah, bro. It's all good now, though. It's all good now. I've done a good deed. I exercised my basement. I'm feeling good, though. I'm in a lot of pain, but I'm feeling good. The power of vinegar compels you. I'm like, all right, what are we doing? Guys, we got to get back to gaming talk. I'm losing viewers. People are like, all right, bro's starting to talk about fucking exercising his basement with vinegar. What did I tune into? All right, so let me go back to the last. Yeah, so wearing my sunglasses at night says Microsoft doesn't really care about the Xbox division. They care less about gaming and Xbox than we do. They're probably talking. We're probably talking more about Xbox than their own boardroom. Well, yeah, I did want to kind of follow up with that and say that, you know, when we tune into this Xbox Direct, so yeah, they say here the show includes not one but two titles from Playground Games, with the UK studio bringing us an extended look at Fable as well as their debut gameplay of Forza Horizon 6, and we'll also be taking a trip to Tokyo to visit the legendary Game Freak, offering an in-depth look at Beast of Reincarnation. And so, you know, we did get official confirmation for Forza Horizon 6 that game is coming to PS5. They said it's going to be coming after. It's going to be coming after it releases on Xbox. And I think that, I don't know if that's an intentional decision or if that just has to do with development timelines or what. But they did confirm that. And so, yeah, Forza Horizon 6, the one I'm excited to see at this Xbox Direct. But Fable. So I do want to point out here, VGC, quote, VGC says, Fable was announced in 2020 as part of the Xbox Game Showcase. The game, which is a reboot of the Lionhead RPG series, does not currently have a release date, but it's understood Fable is also in development for PlayStation 5. So, yeah, I mean, it's not surprising, but it's just one of these things that's worth pointing out where if you're somebody who is remotely interested in either of these games, but you're playing on PlayStation, these games are probably going to be if not launching day one on PlayStation 5 within a very short time frame. So let me see what else they say here. Oh, yeah, and one other thing regarding this Xbox Developer Direct, Shinobi 602 says there's going to be a surprise fourth game. So he doesn't say which one it's going to be. Please be stated. It's not going to be State of Decay 3. They wouldn't make that the surprise game. But there's going to be one more game. You think Game Pass on PlayStation would be kind of nice? I'm sure Microsoft would love that, but I don't think Sony would ever allow that. The fourth game will be Spyro. Yo, that'd be sick. Yeah, we've been hearing about that. Spyro. The live chat numbers have dropped by about 20 since the mold entered the chat. Yeah. Oops. My bad. Well, when we talk about the current situation that Microsoft finds themselves in gaming, and we look at what's going on with PlayStation, where they're going to have one of their biggest years ever in 2026, one of the reasons why Sony's going to have a big year outside of GTA 6, outside of Wolverine, outside of games like Resident Evil 9 is also because, games like Forza Horizon 6, seemingly, and Fable potentially are going to be dropping. We know that Halo's coming. I think that for Microsoft at this point, specifically their studios, because kind of going back to the conversation we were just having about gaming, I don't want to say not being important to Microsoft, but the idea that if they can't really start to increase their profit margins significantly in gaming, we're going to start seeing more and more reductions. We're going to, there's always the worry of studio closures, of teams shrinking, and of all these things that Microsoft paid to acquire just kind of slowly being dismantled and dismembered, really, because it's it's proving to not be as profitable as we had hoped. I think the idea is really, these studios are kind of banking on PlayStation, maybe even more so than their, the Xbox platform, maybe in some cases even the PC platform. Like, dude, you could tell if you listen to when the developers at Halo Studios, when they were talking about bringing Halo to PlayStation 5, you can tell they're like, we're very, very excited. And it's like, we really need this game to do well. Like, we really need it to. And PlayStation has kind of become this place of like, it is the de facto like premium home console where people buy games. And, Microsoft clearly saw that with Forza Horizon, and they're like, okay, maybe we could do that with Halo. Where my sunglasses are saying, if you say GTA 6 would take a long development time to go to PC and they have 6K devs, then Fable would now be delayed years if it's now a PS Day 1 release. Well, I don't know, man. I mean, the thing about Fable is like, maybe it's just me, but I feel like this game was supposed to be done like 2 years ago or something. I don't know. I think there were some kind of development issues. I mean, I don't know that the same logic applies, though, wear my sunglasses. Like, I understand where you're coming from, but the reason why I don't think the logic is the same is because, or comparable, is because when you think about what GTA 6 is going to be as a complete package, and this is no offense towards Fable, but because I would say the same thing about Wolverine or Saros, right? Like, it's safe to say that Fable is not even remotely going to be, it's not going to be doing pretty much any of the things that GTA 6 is going to do. It's again, this is, to me, that what you just said, wear my sunglasses, is it bleeds into the conversation of why I believe nothing can be compared to GTA 6. So like, if GTA 6 needs a year or two to be ported to PC, then does that mean all AAA games would need another year or two? No, I don't think so. I think GTA 6 is in a category of its own, where like GTA 6, I mean, again, we don't even know if this game's going to be ready by the end of this year for the 4 consoles that it's trying to drop on. When I look at something like Fable, And to be honest, though, yeah, I do wonder, because the more I'm thinking about it, I wonder if when they found out, like, from Microsoft, they're like, yeah, you could put this game on PlayStation. We kind of want you to. I wonder if that basically added, like, another 6 months of dev time, or, well, it's also worth noting that we do not have explicit confirmation that Fable is a day one PS5 game. It could be a situation. It could be a situation where it's like, okay, it's going to be on Xbox first, and then maybe like an Indiana Jones thing where it's going to be on PS5 like 6 or 7 months later. Could be that, You're saying check it up. It went into full production in 2023. Let's see. Fable's development timeline. Oh my God. The Fable development timeline for the upcoming game. Rumors began in 2018 and the official announcement in July of 2020, and it entered full production around March 2023. It initially targeted a 25 release, but was delayed to 2026. Well, what's interesting is it says it went into full production around March 2023. Then there may be a kind of assumption that within the first year of production, that's when they decided maybe to go for PS5. I don't know. I mean, I do think that a lot of these studios were caught off guard. Like, for example, you see how Avowed, right? Avowed is now coming to PS5, and it's like, I'm pretty sure that game would have come to PS5 much sooner if the developers had known that they were allowed to target PS5. So when that game was developed, it was actually only targeting Xbox consoles, understandably. Like, they probably didn't have PS5 dev kits. But then once Microsoft was like, oh, okay, yeah, we're going to do multi-platform development, I think that kind of led to these developers being like, oh, shit, okay, well, we're too far in production now. Like, we're leading up to our launch now. We can't just suddenly delay it. And maybe Fable's one of these games where they actually could do that. Maybe Fable is one of the ones where it's like, well, actually, Microsoft is going to let us delay it, and that will be more than enough time to like kind of add PS5 development into the mix here. Again, maybe I'm wrong, because I will say what's weird to me is Forza Horizon 6. What's weird is that this game is not going to be day one on PS5, and I would love to know why, only because it's like, well, that seems odd given everything else that's going on around Xbox games on PlayStation. I mean, like, is that like a developer's decision, or is that Microsoft's decision? Is that the idea that, they want to get as big of a squeeze as they can on their own platform, and then once that's dried up, then try to get another massive second one on PS5, perhaps? Because my understanding is, like, when you see how well Forza Horizon 5 did on PS5, you would think that they want to absolutely be there day one. Like that, like, it's kind of shocking to me. I have to admit, I'm kind of shocked that they're like, yeah, we're not putting Forza Horizon 6 day one. I'm okay waiting. It's not a big deal. I'm sure it'll do great on Xbox. It's one of the better selling games on Xbox and PC. But just considering how well it did, like, almost 4 years later on PS5, I'm like, bro, I don't know. I think, I don't want to say you guys are making a mistake, but I feel like you're leaving potentially a lot on the table by not being there day one. But, there could be numerous reasons for that. Less than 3 years makes it seem like it won't be good. Wait, what do you mean by that, wearing my sunglasses? For some reason, I'm not understanding what you're saying here. Fable is definitely day one on PS5 with the current strategy. Well, there's also the idea that maybe Fable needs to be day one. There is that possibility where they're like, dude, we've dropped so much money into the development of this game, like, we have to be there day one. It could be an urgent thing, You think their development teams aren't big enough to make a day one port for PS5? Yeah, it's another thing, right? Forza is going to be on Game Pass, so that's like another reason I would think that they would want it to be day one. I don't know. Microsoft has so many studios now, dude. They have so many studios working on so many projects. I have to imagine that there's some level of autonomy here where it's like you can't just demand they all do the same thing because they're not equipped, they're not ready, they're not in the position to do that. Because keep in mind, Playground Games was not the one who ported Forza Horizon 5 to PS5. That's something that's worth noting here. Is it was another an outsourced thing that they did, and we know that they reduced the size. They like cut the team at Playground Games that does the regular Forza Motorsport games. And now we like heard rumors that they're going to be like the support team working on the PS5 version. So it could literally just be like they're not Playground Games. Maybe as like we have no fucking idea what we're doing on PS5. I don't know. Fable 3 years to dev. That's nothing. Most are 5, 6+. Okay. You mean since it went into? Okay. I get what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, you do have to wonder why it was in pre-production for so long. If it went into full production in 2023, that means that they were. I mean, maybe a lot of it you would have to imagine is because they have to figure out how to get their engine up and running for a RPG. When you're talking about a studio that's only ever worked with a game engine for racing games, that probably takes time. You also have to imagine maybe like hiring talent, like hiring people that know how to make RPGs. So, okay, yeah, I mean, the more I think about it, the more I guess it kind of makes sense that they would need a longer pre-production cycle. I'm curious, though. I have to say, like, I'm excited for Forza Horizon 6 gameplay at this Xbox Direct. That's the thing I'm most looking forward to. But I'm really fascinated to see like how Fable ends up turning out and how it ends up looking because like, dude, this game has not really won me over yet. Like it looks like it has potential. It looks okay, but I'm really just going to have to see like kind of that raw, like 10 minutes of gameplay to really understand if like, oh yeah, I want to play this game, or if it's going to be one of these games where I'm like, probably maybe I'll pass on it. Because I don't think it looks bad or awful or anything like that. It's kind of an unknown factor right now. But yeah, Forza Horizon 6, that one's going to be a big one. MBG, I have to get this out of my system. Steam/Gaben fanboys got to be the most delusional and toxic fanboys my eyes have ever laid upon. Jesus. What makes you say that? That's intense. And you're saying no way car game devs make a good RPG. Well, that's what I'm saying though. Like you have to imagine that they've spent quite a lot of time and money hiring people specifically where it's like, do you know how to make an RPG? Have you worked on RPG games? My understanding at this point, and again, I could be wrong about this because I haven't done too much research into it, but my broader understanding is that Playground Games is like two teams now. There's the Forza team, specifically the Forza Horizon team, and now there's the Fable team. And so like if Fable were to fail, for example, if it were to be like a bad game, like it comes out and it's like a broken, buggy mess, it's sitting at like a 64 on Metacritic and flops, doesn't sell well. If that were to happen, I think you would see like mass layoffs. And the team that works on the Forza Horizon games would be like completely unaffected. You know what I mean? Like you're not going to fire somebody who's working on Forza Horizon or lay them off. But yeah, I think that they hired. So, you know, there's a high risk in that. And you basically built a second team, which is maybe necessary to make something like this work. But then the question is like, is it going to work? Is it going to work? I don't know, man. I don't know. It's got a lot of pressure on it. When you think about how long it's been in pre-production, when you think about how expensive it would be to build a second team, I wouldn't be surprised if Fable is the most expensive game right now, or one of the most expensive games under, well, that's not fair to say because we're comparing it to like Call of Duty and stuff, but one of the more expensive games being developed underneath Microsoft Studios banner It's probably, you know, a couple $100 million, like maybe like 200 million plus. Saying they think Steam Machine being weaker and more expensive than a base PS5 is somehow a shot at Sony and a win for Gaben, and he'll change the gaming industry to a better landscape. Well, I will say that I've noticed when it comes to like Steam fanboys, you know, there's fanboys like this all over where it's like some of the people I come across, it's like, well, everything should be exactly like Steam. And it's like, speak for yourself. You know, like that would be, it's like the equivalent of me saying like everything should be just like PlayStation. It's like, I don't really think that, you know. I think PlayStation should be what PlayStation is, and I think Steam should be what Steam is, and I think Nintendo, if anything, I think that they should learn from each other. That I think I agree with. You know, if people are like, well, if Steam's doing this well, Sony and Microsoft and Nintendo should take notes. If Nintendo's doing this well, Sony and Microsoft and Steam should take notes. I think they should all kind of take notes from one another. And again, when you see one company doing something that's seemingly just a really good idea and is working, you should copy it. You know, if you see them doing something stupid, you shouldn't copy it. But yeah, I mean, that's how it's always going to be, right? The one thing that Steam does have over PlayStation is they have a superior return policy. Yeah, we've talked about that, and I don't think that's going to change for Sony anyway, unfortunately. But, you know, the thing about it is, man, like, do you know what offsets that for me? I'll tell you what offsets that for me. Physical games. I would care so much more, and this day may come where you'll see me out here 6 years from now. I'll be like the number one person advocating for PlayStation to follow Steam in this regard, where, you know, truthfully, the return policy for physical games that's reliant upon the retailer you're buying it from. But like, for example, if I buy from Amazon a physical PS5 game, they will let me return it. Literally, like I want to make it clear, I do not do this. I literally don't. I collect my games, but Amazon would let you buy a physical video game. You could open that shit, play it for like 20 days, and then be like, I want to return it. And they'll more than likely, I mean, I'm a Prime subscriber, so I don't know if they give me like, if they're more lenient for Prime subscribers or not. They probably are, but I've looked into that and like, yeah, you could do that, and I'm like, that's crazy. That's crazy. You shouldn't exploit that. I don't think that's right. But the fact, well, I mean, then again, it's like whatever. You know, Amazon, one of the richest companies in the fucking world. What do I care? But you know, it's just that to me. If that goes away, if physical games go away and PlayStation's like you can only play digital now, then yeah, it's like I really hope you guys have the same refund policy as Steam. You know, because if this is the only way I'm going to be able to buy video games, I want to know that there's a really solid return policy. And honestly, the fact that the return policy on PlayStation is so ass just makes me, it's all the more reason why it's like physical for life, bro. Like physical until there's no more physical games. Because like and it's no offense to anybody. Whoa, holy shit. Clark's like, hey. Okay. Don't flash. Don't flash, Clark. God damn it. Why is he? Clark's like, let me tell you what I think about digital games. Oh my God. Wear my sunglasses. You're saying, talking about return policy. Sony never took Cyberpunk 2077 off the store because of its state. It was because CD Projekt Red said people could get refunds. Sony flipped. Yeah, I mean, that was a weird situation, dude. And I to be fair, though, I think it was probably 50-50. I think on one hand, I think it turned into a nightmare for Sony in terms of like, okay, like we've never had this many return requests for any game, like any AAA game ever. I think it was that, but yeah, I think it was also because, you know, it's like, bro, we're like, this is just turning into a logistical nightmare. And I don't know. It's funny though. Like looking back on that, it's funny how Sony, it kind of was a PR win for them though, wasn't it? Because people were pissed. People were pissed at CD Projekt Red, and Sony kind of, they realized like we could do this, and no one will be upset because people will be like, see, like so in a way, Sony kind of validated the. It's like, so in case you thought this game wasn't broken, Sony straight up is not selling it, and that was weird, dude. Like I don't recall Sony ever doing that for a AAA game, and I don't think they've done it since. Yeah, Sony's not perfect, dude, by any means. Like I look at the PlayStation Store and I'm like, what the fuck am I even looking at, dude? Half the time. Which is, again, this is why, like, I don't want physical games to ever go anywhere, bro, because these digital storefronts, they look like, they just look like a nightmare. I just like don't even want to be involved with them. I really hope that, I know it's probably a fantasy, but I really hope that PlayStation just forever continues to support physical games to some degree, or like if Sony walks away from it, or if every gaming platform walks away from it, there's just still an option. There's like a third party company that's like, well, we'll make physical games or whatever. We'll be like the middleman. I don't know. You're saying nope. Sony greenlights games for the store. They knew its state. Look at the other slop on the store. Yet, Cyberpunk was the only game taken down. That's a good point. That is a good point. Yeah, I just saw, dude. Did you guys see? It's funny you mentioned this because did you see that they just uploaded this game? There's a trailer they uploaded for this game called Ebola Outbreak or something, and it's like an AI garbage fucking, I don't know, man. It's like a horrible shitty ripoff of Resident Evil, and Sony uploaded the trailer for this game on their YouTube channel, and they got cooked so bad. Ebola Village. They got cooked so bad they deleted the video, bro. They took it off. And they're still selling the game, but it's like, Sony, get your shit together, bro. Like, this right here is, hey. Like, this right here is why I don't want to visit the PlayStation Store. And it's not just Sony. I know that this exists on Steam. This exists on the eShop. It's on Xbox. It's everywhere. But I do wish that Sony would get a better hold of it, because it's like, come on, bro. Like, Sony, you're the one that always tries to have this, like, prestigious reputation, and you know, you make it seem like you want to hold yourself to a slightly higher standard, and that's fine. That can be good, but like in this case, it's like you got to keep that energy, take that energy and direct it towards your digital storefront, because I just feel like it's gotten out of hand. But the problem with that, likely from Sony's point of view, is, you know, if they were to do it, they're like, we're going to do automation. And if you do automation, that's going to cause God knows the type of problems that would cause. And so they probably just figure like, well, just accept it and deal with it, you know? And I'm like, listen, I can, as long as you allow physical games. Sony, keep up with physical games, and we're good. Chris, you're saying, remember PlayStation TV? Sony's wild for that in 2013. I do. Dude, that was so weird, Chris. That was one of the most bizarre things. You're saying, did I trigger the Sony D riders in the chat? Who's triggered? Hold on, who's triggered? Saying, MVG, the problem is if Sony were to curate the store more, people would complain that they oppressively control the store, like they say about Apple. Oh, that's true too. Well, there's no winning. Yeah. That's true too. That's true too. It is one of these situations where you kind of have to find that middle ground balance, but good luck. Well, I mean, listen, man, Sony's got some issues. We've discussed this, you know. I mean, you guys have to understand, like, all I really encounter half the time is the whataboutism with Sony. And listen, man, I've never, like, the things that I push back on when it comes to Sony are things that I feel are warranted, usually, you know. I don't think I'm too out of pocket these days. MBG is pirating / stealing games bad. I think it depends. I'm gonna say usually, but I think it depends. You know, like, I think piracy is gonna become much more ubiquitous in the coming years. Yeah, I think as you start to see these companies, this goes well beyond Sony, but you're gonna start to see these companies make it clear that they're 100% gonna just egregiously prioritize shareholders over consumer interest, and it's going to get imbalanced. And I think you're going to see more and more people gravitate towards, to some level, of piracy. And you know, I don't think it's necessarily whether it's good or bad. I think it's a matter of, like, you have to ask, like, why if piracy is hurting a company and is becoming a major problem, that company has to ask why. Because there's a reason. Like, I think most people don't mind paying for things as long as it feels worth it to them, you know, and fair. And are there going to be people who are just being assholes and they're just like, I'm not paying for shit ever and I don't care, I'm going to steal everything? Yeah. I think that's probably wrong. But, you know, there's that kind of, like, balance of, like, well, you know, there has to be a good balance between keeping the consumer happy, making it feel like the product is good, valuable, and worth it. You know, trying to grow your company and be profitable. It's, you know, it's just the way it's always been and the way it should always go. But there's always complications, and greed can certainly become a complicating factor for sure. Piracy is a service problem. There you go. You're all digital on your Xbox and mostly digital on PlayStation. It's just so much easier not to have to worry about space. Well, yeah, I mean, going digital has its perks and benefits, just like having physical games does. Is it morally bad to come up with arbitrary justifications to steal games? Michael, you're saying I got flagged saying I need to be a sub for 5 minutes or more to chat. What? I don't even have that turned on. Do I? I've had that turned off. Oh, no, hold on. You're right. My bad, dude. Although that shouldn't be a problem for you, Michael. My bad. Yeah, that must have been muscle memory. I've been allowing everybody to just, I took that because I'm like, what's even the point? You know what I mean? It's like, you got to be subscribed for 5 minutes. Like, wait, Michael, why did it make you wait? You're not a subscriber? Michael, Luna's here. Yo, Luna is here. Guys, we're at 7 members. I wasn't going to push anything because, I mean, I'm happy with the support you guys show. But Luna, she's like, yo, we hit that goal yet? Here, Luna, I'll give you a couple. I'll give you an appetizer. Luna's taken over. Dude, Boss just doesn't even care anymore. Ever since we got Clark, Boss is just like, he's like, I'm not even going to bother. And I don't know why. Maybe he's just going to take a little bit of time. I am not unsubbing. I have been loyal and faithful. Thank you, Michael. You know, sometimes I feel like, I got to be honest, though. Because, like, I was thinking about the Sony D Riders thing. Yeah, I mean, I think there's definitely some level of, like, fanboyism and that can become very cringe. But I also think, and this doesn't just apply to PlayStation, I think these days too, like I think people are just kind of afraid to be fans of certain things in gaming anymore, because there's been this kind of like notion that like you're not allowed to be, like it's bad to be a fan. And I'm like, well, I mean, I would only agree with that if you're a fan that fails to criticize. I think that could be a problem, And so I always encourage that. Like, I always want to encourage people, like, keep in mind, if you like PlayStation, it is in your best interest to criticize the things that you may have a problem with, because, we got to hope that Sony will hear us and make changes to help improve it. But I also think it's important with the things they are doing to give them the thumbs up for it. Let them know, this is good. No, Michael, I was saying that I'm going to have to push that to next week. I apologize for that. Me and Mrs. MBG did a whole project on the basement yesterday, and she kind of hurt her back a little bit and is trying to rest up. And I also hurt my back. My lower body right now, dude, is just like cooked. So we're gonna push that off to next week. It's okay though, because I was gonna push it off. Like, if we did it today, it wasn't gonna happen next week anyway. And Michael, he comes in, he drops 20 memberships for you guys. Mike, Luna, I love how Luna's becoming like the boss. She's becoming boss now. She's looking at me like, is it treat time? Michael Warneth drops 20 member gifts for you guys.
Holy shit.
Thank you so much for that, Michael. You're the GOAT, bro. I appreciate it. I'm going to give Luna some more treats since I only gave her a couple. Hold on one sec. I got like this extra large. Look at how big this thing is, dude. Oh, shit. Okay, hold on. That's too much. Hold on, Luna. That's too much. Oh, my God. She just smacked him like, boy, get the fuck out of here. Clark, do you have to make all of my other cats feel this uncomfortable? It's all right, Luna. You can eat your treats. I got Clark. She's all paranoid now. Ow. You bite me? Come on. Sorry. Sorry for the chaos. You're good. You're good, Luna. There you go. Eat up. Now she's like, I don't even want them no more. Clark, why do you got to ruin a good thing, man? He ruined it for Boss to a point where Boss doesn't even come down to get the treats. All right, Luna. Michael, thank you again, man. I appreciate that, bro. I did miss a chat from Wear My Sunglasses. He says, never pay for anything if the corp is worth over 1 billion. That's tough, dude. Well, I mean, really? Damn. If that's the case, you're going to be pirating so much. I mean, I understand the notion and the mentality behind it, but I don't think I could do that. Shadow, you're saying, MBG, I personally like what I like, and when it's good, I buy. When it's not, I don't buy what you like, and don't buy what you don't. Shadowlink, you just broke my brain, bro. What are you trying to say? Did you just offend my purchasing sensibilities? Did you just criticize my purchasing sensibilities? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. And Wear My Sunglasses, you're saying, I'm sorry. I know you guys can't hear it. Do you see Luna? Do you see her? See how concerned she looks? She's very concerned. I know you guys can't hear it and you can't see it. I'm hearing Boss and Clark fighting, because Boss clearly was trying to make his way down here to get some treats, and Clark's like, I'm gonna fuck your ass up, bro. And like, Boss is just, he's like, why even bother? I feel, dude, I don't even know what to do. And the thing is, I don't think Clark's bullying. He's not bullying. He's just trying to he likes to play a little rough, you know? And I think Boss he's like, leave me the hell alone. Let's see. Hold on. And Michael Wernick says, or wait, hold on. Wear My Sunglasses says, liking capitalism is uncool nowadays, especially with Gen Z. I mean, that's understandable. It's been taken to, I think, its end stage here, where it's becoming problematic for a lot of people, and I just realized I didn't update the member goal. Boss, are you coming down or what, bro? I hear you. I got treats for you. And Michael Wernick says, please like the video, guys and gals. Yeah, guys, make sure you hit that like button. Nope. Okay. Just Clark. That's fine. Luna and Clark. Sorry, boss. I'll have to give boss his treats later. It's okay, though. It's okay. He's the one good thing about Clark kind of messing with him is I think it's getting boss moving a lot more. He's got to move more. You know, I've been giving him treats for a while, and I think he needs to lose a pound or two. Let me get rid of the Feed the Beast logo too. There we go. Clark from the streets. MBG, is there an Xbox game coming to PlayStation? Avowed. Avowed was just announced to be coming to PlayStation. I think in February. I think it's gonna have like New Game Plus and stuff like that. So it sounds like it's gonna have some improvements. Before you throw capitalism away, consider if the alternative is better. That's some wisdom that takes time to develop. Yeah, I do think that. Cats are acting so weird. Cat creatine MBG, it'll work wonders. Gotta get that cat creatine, bro. Well, yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people at this point just feel that there's some balancing adjustments that need to be made to our current state of capitalism. How, maybe it's gotten a little out of hand. Because the alternative has massive problems too. There's no perfect system. Okay, Clark. Come on, bro. Come on. Yeah, come on, go. You can start bullying me soon, man. All right. MBG, I asked about piracy because I've seen many people pirating a game because Company X did not fix this problem or because the game is expensive, so I have to steal it. Such nonsensical arguments. I mean, yeah, I think arguments like that are just just say you want to steal the game. Don't even say it. Just don't. You don't have to tell anybody. You don't have just do. You know what I mean? Like if you just, I feel like if somebody wants to pirate something, they can probably come up with any reason to justify it. I just think it looks weird if you feel the need to go publicly justify it. You know what I mean? Like, just do what you want to do, man, because people are going to do it anyway. I just think that. Hey, what are you doing? Hold on. I think Luna's paws caught on something. Hold on. She's good. No one needs to steal. Come on now. I mean, we're talking about games and like digital media consumption. I'm gonna say, yeah. I don't know that would be classified as a need. I'll be honest. I don't think we can classify it as a need, bro. I agree. Hold on. Okay. Guys, please don't destroy anything. All right, let me come back to the chat here. Hold on. I'm sorry. Just getting a little flustered all over the place. I wouldn't even steal a game. I'm good with just skipping it until it's 15. Yeah, I mean, I don't pirate stuff. I never have. I don't think I ever will. I am more along the lines of like, if something, yeah, I mean, I keep it pretty simple, man. Like, there's seemingly always going to be something that I think is good. And the things that I find good and appeal, like, seem to appeal to me, and I'm like, it's worth it, I'll usually have no problem paying for it. And, you know, if we got to a point one day where it's like every game's going to be $150 and they're going to release broken and shitty, it's just like, you know, if we're living in some kind of dystopia, and it's like, man, trying to support gaming really is like the worst thing ever. Okay, but I don't think it's you know, that sounds kind of nonsensical and unrealistic. I think where we are right now, yeah, I mean, my view on it is like, dude, I see a game. Like, I'll give you a good one, for example, Mafia: The Old Country. I just recently bought that game, and when I bought it physically. It was $38, and I was like, oh, wait, what did this game release at? And I was like, oh yeah, it released at $50. Like, if that game was still $50, I still would have bought it for $50. You know, I didn't purposely wait for the sale, but it just so happens that by the time I got around to being able to purchase it, it was on sale. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, sure. I'm not going to pass up a good sale. But I've been playing it. I have like 5 or 6 hours into it so far, and I'm like, dude, this is good, man. Like, I would have not felt any type of way if I paid full price for this game, $50, that is. Do I think it would be worth $70? I have to complete the game to know that. It definitely has a couple of issues. It's a little bit janky, you know. It's got a few bugs and some performance issues. So I don't know. I don't know that it would be worth a full $70, but for the price that they ask for it, like, I think Mafia: The Old Country, it's a good example of a game that I think it understands that $50 is probably the best price point for a game like this. And so, yeah, I feel like I got it at a pretty good deal for $38. I'm really enjoying that, by the way. Game's really good. MBG, when it comes to Nintendo, they make me steal less. Because the Switch has all the... Wait, I don't understand. Wait, why? When it comes to Nintendo, they make me steal less. That's a crazy sentence, bro. Mom and pop stores going down. Oh, you opt in to stay a year behind to pay less for games and to make sure they're fully patched. That's a pretty good strategy. I mean, waiting is always a good strategy if you're ever nervous about the pricing or the performance of a game. That's always a viable option. Am I going to get Wu Chang? Probably not. I don't know. I mean, it looked like it was a pretty good game, but I'll be honest, man, like, most games in my backlog are probably going to suffer starting February. Yeah, so right now I'm trying to get through Mafia: The Old Country. And if I have a little bit of time between now and whatever I'm going to be playing in February, I'll try to squeeze something else in. But the cost of living crisis we're in right now is why Gen Z can't live their own lives. Yeah, I mean, dude, I don't know, man. I'll be honest, I don't know. I've been following shit closer than I would want to, thanks to Twitter and random YouTube videos popping up. I literally, so, like, just to put into perspective of how insane the internet can be, I legitimately thought the other night, like, oh, that's cool, the world's coming to an end. Well, this sucks. I mean, that sounds a bit dramatic, but I was like, oh, okay, this is the beginning of the end. And then, you know, it's like, and it's just weird because it's like, it's like you're viewing things through a lens. I don't know. I'm just trying to say, I don't know, man. I don't have the answers. I don't claim to have the answers. All I can do is hope things get better, man. That's literally all I can do. You know, I have to worry about my own attitude. You know, what was it that what was it that Aunt May said from Spider-Man? When you help one person, you help the world. There you go. Throwing an Aunt May quote at you. There you go, Gen Z. Oh man, I don't even know what's happening anymore. But yeah, no, there's no doubt that there's some real struggle going on, for sure. Sony's been preparing for the state of play at the end of January, beginning of February. Yeah, that's my belief. Yeah, it seems we haven't had any rumors, but that's how they've been doing it. Oh, Nate the Hate says Larian would love to port Baldur's Gate 3 to the Switch 2, but it's not happening due to, quote, not healthy relationship with Hasbro / Wizards of the Coast, end quote. Ooh. Well, that doesn't sound good. That's crazy. I wonder what made their relationship go south. Oh, by the way, I think it was confirmed that Divinity is going to be it is going to be a turn-based game. They did confirm that. And it says here, report, Warner Bros. Games eliminates roles at San Francisco studio. But this is a studio mainly responsible for mobile titles such as DC Worlds Collide. All right. As BioWare's failed live service Anthem gets ready to die, players rush to unlock platinums to say their goodbyes while others work on custom servers. Yo, wait, people are trying to get the platinum for Anthem because it's going to shut down. Reminds me of the Concord situation. Boss. Oh my God, dude. Boss, come here, bro. Sorry. Boss is literally afraid to be down here because of Clark. I don't know. Boss, you're like triple his size, bro. What are you scared of? All right. MBG, why steal Nintendo games where the Switch has all the retro console games? Yes, there's a fee, but it's $50 for the year. That's cheap. Oh, okay. So that's what you were trying to say, Perfect Image. Gotcha. Yeah, I didn't quite understand with the first message. Can I show Clark on camera? I mean, he comes on when he wants to, dude. He was on camera a moment ago for a minute. Dude, yeah, it's funny to me that people are going back to Anthem. Greedfall, The Dying World gets ESRB rating for PlayStation 5. All right. It's not that serious. It's fine. It's all right. All right, well, you could try that. Just please don't break anything. Really, his little baby meow? I'm sorry. All right. If you've got friends who can buy a 5090, you're one of the most privileged people on the planet by percentage. By percentage. A 5090 is a gift. A 5090 PC is a gift, bro. Yeah, I'll open a PO box. Who wants to gift me a 5090 PC? Don't ever do that. If I did open it, don't. It would get so underutilized. It would just sit there collecting dust, man. Well, not, I mean, gaming wise, to be clear. Wait, why are you going to time out Tarnished? Wait, no. Tarnished, you got, hold on. What's going on here? My friend presented me with an RTX 5090 PC, and I told them I don't want it because I think it's too decadent in a way. But they were happy to see that. Oh, wow. That's fascinating. You're getting timed. No, I'm just kidding. Don't time Tarnished out. No, don't time Tarnished out. No, I mean, I can respect it. Oh, talking about having. Well, I don't know. I don't think Tarnished was saying they have it tough. Unless I misunderstood. No, I don't think Tarnished was saying they have it tough. You didn't tell them no to their face. Well, I mean, I can respect it, you know? I can respect if it's like, it feels like too much. I mean, I get that, you know? You know what I think Tarnished is like? Gaming Star, Tarnished is like, you ever see that scene in Breaking Bad? When that guy, his friend, was like, here, let me write you a check. And he's like, fuck you. Like, Tarnished, I'm just kidding, Tarnished. I have no idea what the situation is, but yeah, that's what I imagine in my head. It's a Breaking Bad situation. Tarnished is like, I'll do it myself. Oh, by the way, speaking of Breaking Bad, dude, some of the memes of Walter White being inserted into Stranger Things and stuff like that, it's like, oh my God, bro. The Breaking Bad meme community is crazy. Absolutely crazy. MBG, I read video games may actually slow brain aging. A 2025 McGill University study found that 10 weeks of game-based brain training restored cholinergic, hopefully I said that right, function to levels similar to younger adults. Well, I mean, just look at me. Just listen to what I say. I mean, obviously. I'm just kidding. No, that's actually fantastic news. I mean, it's not like, I feel like that's not too shocking though, is it? Right? Like the idea that playing games keeps your brain like healthy. I feel like, yeah, I don't know. I always kind of felt that when playing them. I'm like, I always kind of felt like this has to be good for my brain in some way. And that's why it's so funny to think like back in the day, at least when I was a kid, you know, adults would be like, they're going to rot your brain. These games are going to rot your brain. I'm like, I don't know. I think they're doing the opposite. I feel like they're stimulating my brain in a positive way. So crack flop. Meanwhile, newsroom in the chat, crack flop. Tell me about that crack flop. I never watched all of Malcolm in the Middle, but I saw that they're doing like a little bit of a revival season, I think. It's like a special. That's really cool. Tarnish says, I'm in a difficult financial situation, but I do get gifted from time to time. Maybe you should tell him, listen, maybe not a 5090 PC, maybe like a 4060, 3060, maybe. There you go. Sorry, hold on, guys. Sorry. Luna was like sitting there. It looked like she was eating something on the rug. But it's like really dark over there, so I had to like go check it out. And she's like eating the rug. Like she can't do that. What's wrong? What is wrong with my cats, dude? Action games sharpen attention and reaction speed, while strategy games boost planning and problem solving. Boom. So it's healthy to play video games. It's healthy for your brain. That's all bullshit, bro. Parents just trying to scare you. Thank you, Jake. All right. You think everybody should game? Hey. Okay. Guys. Luna. Stop. What the fuck is happening? Dude. She's like legit eating it. Stop. Well, this is just great. Hold on. Can't have anything nice. Let me tell you. I'm just saying the economy is being too hard on us to build ourselves in a reasonable, sustainable manner. Oh, man. Oh, wait. Hold on. My camera froze again. What's up with that camera freeze, bro? We're good. We're good. Sorry about that. I don't know what's happening anymore. Everything's falling apart. Get the newspaper out. Time to give those cats a whooping. Thank you, Jake. Gen Z stare. All right. We got to circle back to gaming discussion. By the way, guys, please hit that like button if you haven't already. Beer me first. Clark, the new lion. I mean, yeah, he seemingly has that alpha energy. I don't know. I'm just trying to make sure my camera. Okay. Yeah, my camera seems to be stable now. I was waiting to see if it was going to freeze again. Do I buy cat food in bulk? I try to when I can. Fable is confirmed to be there. Yes, it is. Gaming Survivor, bro, stop tormenting Tarnished. My God. Gaming Survivor, you're getting power hungry these days, bro. I'll have to keep an eye on you. What about State of Decay 3? Yeah, I don't know, man. Well, the last we heard of State of Decay 3, apparently that's targeting a 2027 release. So it would make more sense if that's like a Microsoft Direct for January 2027. But Gaming Survivor, what do you want to... Fuck, what's it called? It's on trend. He's coming here all trend up. He's like hearing voices and shit. Like Tarnished to him, Tarnished is an actual person in the room with him right now, threatening him. Be careful, man. Be careful with that trend. Word raging in the chat. All right. All right. So, do you guys have any gaming related questions? Drop them in the chat. Gaming related questions could be about PlayStation, Xbox, exclusives, next gen games. Taking questions. I'm always taking questions, but now I'm just going to announce it. The Division 3 will have as big of an impact as the first Division, shaping up to be a monster. Oh, wait, the Division 3 is in development? Nice. Nicodemus says, why does Xbox suck? I'm glad you asked. Next state of play. The next state of play, listen, man, I'm telling you, either last week of January, first week of February. It's going to be within that 2-week time frame, I'm telling you. Wait, ponies will be like, where my Game Pass day one-ish addicts at? Wait, what? I don't understand what was just typed in the chat. I joined the stream late. Did you talk about the event from yesterday, the New Game Plus? I mentioned it briefly. I was saying that from what I've been reading, I wasn't able to watch it yesterday, but from what I've been reading, it's getting kind of a lot of negative feedback. Let me see if I can find a thread on Twitter. What's it called? New Game Plus, right? Oh, wait, just a heads up. Shinobi602 just posted. Says, Samsung warns TV prices may rise amid RAM crisis. Amid RAM crisis. I can't even speak normally anymore. New Game Plus. So, they posted something where I know they were getting feedback. Now I can't find it. Sorry it's taking so long. Jeez, man. I must have missed it. Oh, great. Now my PC's freezing. All right. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know why it's not showing up. Here we go. All right. I'm sorry that took so long, dude. I don't understand. Sometimes when I keep the actual like YouTube Studio open while I'm streaming, it seems to like slow everything down, dude. Everything. It's like very annoying. In fact, I'm gonna pop out the chat and see if I can just close this and see if it runs smoother. I'm gonna test it out. So the New Game Plus account says, thanks to everyone for watching the first ever iteration of the New Game Plus showcase, and a huge thank you to the devs. We already have lots we want to improve on and can't wait to start planning for 2027. One of the first and top comments is somebody says, as some constructive criticism, the pacing was destroyed by the countless and long yap sessions. I didn't mind the developer bits, but it was so drawn out. The games were great, and as a game showcase, I want to see games, not a podcast. Hope we see another one and improvements. New Game Plus replied by saying, absolutely, we want to improve the pacing. The goal was to give more of a real take that felt like you and your friends are talking about and digesting the games together, but we all agree it should be a more efficient timeline. Game Roll says the show had potential, but unfortunately the pacing and structure really hindered it for me. The dev interviews are awesome, an awesome idea, and I love the thinking behind this, but my suggestion for next year would be to rethink the way it's structured. I'm no pro, but I think the runtime of this could have been cut in half. Again, fantastic idea and incredibly excited for the future nonetheless. Somebody else with a bunch of upvotes says, man, no disrespect or anything, but that was terrible in my opinion. I was literally expecting a showcase with just trailers, and y'all ended up doing a podcast / roundtable showcase. I know this is your first time, but it was very disappointing. Looking to see what else. Yeah, so I don't know. I've been seeing the biggest criticism for this show seems to be people were really turned off by the fact that they're like chatting in between each game and basically turning it into half podcast, half showcase. And I'm not going to lie, it makes me really glad I didn't tune into this. At first, I was feeling bad that I missed it, and apparently it was really long. I'm like, Jesus, man. And I know I know that's ironic because it's like I sit here and that's all I do is yap. But I'm just saying, like, if I'm hyping up a showcase, like I don't know. I was a little bit skeptical of it because I'm like, a showcase for gamers, by gamers. It's a nice tagline, but Jack, you're saying you only watched the first 20 minutes, but then didn't wish to watch anymore. You think I need a new PC? You think so? It seems to be running smoother now that I've taken off that. It's running like a lot smoother. Yeah, having that YouTube studio open with like a second live feed, I think really tanks the performance of my PC for some reason. State of play next month. Well, so far no insiders have come out and talked about state of play. But I don't know. I feel like we're at a point. If we get like somebody like Jeff Grubb talking about it, I'll bring it up. But I don't really know that you need to be an insider at this point to assume that that's around. You know, we're probably gonna get a state of play in the next 30 days or so. Saying the pacing was awful. Almost 4 hours. Oh my God. Dude, almost 4 hours. Holy shit. For a showcase? You're saying someone edited it and uploaded it without all the talking, just the straight showcase? It was a little over an hour. They basically talked for 3 hours. Oh my God. I had no idea. I thought it was like 2 hours or something, or an hour and a half. And like they talked for like 5 minutes in between. That's crazy. Oh boy, am I glad I didn't watch that. That would have been tough. I would have crashed out so hard. Actually, I probably should have. It would have been entertaining for you guys. I would have crashed out so bad. Like, I stopped messing with my basement for this. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm getting a back itch. Uh-oh. Damn, my muscles. They're too buff. I can't itch my back. Dude, I'm getting this crazy itch on my back. I can't get it. I can't get it. Why am I getting this crazy back itch, dude? MBG, I kind of miscommunicated my friend's RTX 5090 PC story. I didn't tell them no to their face. I used it for an extensive time, but my relative is predominantly using it, and my friend knew about it, and my friend is still happy. Okay. Well, that makes sense, Tarnished. That makes sense. You don't have to explain anything, dude. We're just busting your balls. It's all good, dude. It's all good. But yeah, that makes sense. Black mold back itch is a thing. Shut up, Ray. It's a thing, bro. Watch out. Watch out, MBG. Yeah, I mean, I will say, like, Jack, you're saying Luke Stevens criticizes other showcases all the time. I thought he got it, but when it comes for him to make one, when it comes to making one, he made the most boring one ever. Yeah, that's a little bit awkward. Without being like too overly harsh, it's like I think I think it is easy to criticize these shows when we see them. I think it's necessary to criticize them because they need the feedback. But I think when it comes time to like, okay, well now it's your turn to make one, you realize how it's not easy, right? I mean, I think about this all the time. I think about the big thing for me, the big wake up call was when Sony had a bad showcase in 2023. I'm like, oh my God, even Sony can have a bad showcase. This must be more difficult than it seems. But I think about the shows that Jeff Keighley puts on, and I think about how like, you know, it he has some really good years, he has some mid to just bad years, and he's like the most experienced with these shows. He knows what he's doing, and the fact that he still misses sometimes, I think tells you everything you need to know about how hard it can be to actually put on a good show. But my guess is when these YouTubers and content creators, when they were coming up with the idea of making their own show, they probably thought to themselves, we have to take like a different angle. And maybe by leaning into the fact that this is a show made by content creators, I think they maybe took that too literally, where it's like, yeah, so like half of it's going to be a podcast, or like 3/4 of it is going to be a podcast, basically. Um, that to me, yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like somebody probably should have realized during their brainstorming of how this show is going to go that like, maybe have like a hard limit, like a cutoff. And I guess that makes things tough because like what, there was like 4 or 5 content creators. Maybe have like a limit of like you guys can talk for about like 5 minutes in between. Each person gets like a minute, or something. But then, at that point, you'd question what's even the point. Maybe they should have just made it, they're just showing games. You know what they should have done? Here's some free feedback, even for somebody who didn't watch it, but just hearing about it. Maybe just do the showcase, show the games back to back to back to back to back. Maybe a little bit of, a few devs chiming in here and there, talking about the game. And then when the showcase is done, you have like the new game plus after show or something, where that's when they discuss it and they go over each announcement and everything. That could be an idea, because it seems to me like the general feedback is that people don't want to watch them talking in between the reveals. Yeah, there you go. Peptar, you got it. What's this called again? I didn't even know it happened. It was a showcase called New Game Plus. MBG, Sony will treat GTA 6 as an exclusive. What does that mean practically? What can we expect from that? I mean, I think you're going to expect aggressive marketing if they have the rights for it. And I think at the very least, you can expect Sony to try to do a bundle. Try to just make it known, like, we got GTA 6. Guys, GTA 6 on PS5. It's here. We got it. I think that's, what that means for us as the player. At most, I think it means maybe a couple of exclusivity bonuses for like GTA Online or something. Nothing too crazy. But I think it's more for like the Sony, like the business side of PlayStation, where if you want to see PlayStation do well and do better and improve, this will help them. This will like basically this GTA 6 that is will help ensure that the PlayStation 5 generation closes in very strongly, as strongly as it possibly can. And for somebody who wants to see Sony continue to do well, so that you continue to get the same type of games, not the same type, you know what I mean? Like continue to get the games that you've been getting, continue to see the console prioritized, and continue to see things improved upon. I think it'll help that. I could be wrong, but I don't see any downside to it, really. Oh my, wait. Yeah, I did the podcast after, yeah. Love your content about PlayStation MEG. Keep it up. Vidor from Vidor. I don't know if I'm saying your name correctly, from Brazil here. Well, thank you for that, man. I appreciate that. Thank you. Steve Slayer says my PS5 Pro is ready. Tarnish says my base PS5 is already crying. Alvin, you're saying, I bet it means very aggressive PS5 Pro optimization. I hope so. Yeah, I think GTA 5 could be like the definitive PS5 Pro game. Absolutely. In fact, I think there's a very good chance that's what will happen. And as a PS5 Pro owner who's very, very, very excited for GTA 6, I really hope that Rockstar goes above and beyond. I mean, at the very least, I'm sure Rockstar appreciates the extra horsepower. The real question is if they're going to use PSSR. That's what I want to know. Because if they use PSSR for GTA 6, then that means they're going to be using the latest version. And that latest version, I mean, we don't actually know just how capable it is, but if it's as good as we're hoping, it could produce big results. It could produce big results for the PS5 Pro version of GTA 6. Oh, yeah, that's something else that Jason Schreier mentioned, by the way. Jason Schreier was mentioning how Sony is planning their entire lineup around GTA 6. And because of that, he said it seems pretty much like a sure thing that Wolverine will be a September or October game, which, again, isn't surprising. I've been saying that as well. But it just seems like he's kind of backing that notion up a little bit, where based off of what he's hearing, like, and I also want to point this out as well, too. I was actually listening to Mystic talk about this, and Mystic was saying that traditionally Sony doesn't seem to really care too much about releasing their exclusive games, their first-party games, around other big titles. Like Sony, the way that they traditionally operate is when their game's ready to go, it goes. They don't really care what it's around. But they're actually taking a different approach. Like they're making an exception for GTA 6. And I think that right there should tell you just how big GTA 6 really is going to be, not just for PlayStation, but for the industry, where, again, you have somebody like Sony who normally doesn't make exceptions like that, and they don't care, and they're like, we got to watch out. Like, yeah, I think everybody's got to watch out. Did I see the Samson game? I did, and apparently the console version is eventually going to come. That's one of those games where I'm like, dude, this looks so damn cool, but it's PC only, and I'm like, don't get me wrong. It looks really good, but I'm not gonna go PC to play it. I'll wait. But that's the thing. I went to check to see, did they confirm it will come to console. They said it'll come to console later, so I'll wait for it. But that game looks good. When is GTA 6 releasing, supposedly? November 19th of this year. MBG, one of the leaks says that the car's proportions will be 1-to-1 with real life. If you noticed previous GTA games, cars were smaller sizes scale-wise relative to NPCs. That should increase immersion. That's interesting. I never really thought about that. Yeah, I mean, I was looking over some screenshots again for GTA 6 and watching some trailer footage and just kind of observing it really closely. And it's like, yeah, dude, I know people get a little bit annoyed sometimes because they feel like I glaze GTA 6 too much, but it's like, dude, the more you look at this game, the more you realize, like, there's not anything that's going to match GTA 6 for like probably another decade or longer. Like the level of detail is like, I don't even know how this is possible. Like, I'm not sure who would even think to put this level of detail in a video game like this, but here we are. So yeah, I'm expecting to see some. I mean, I'm underselling it, but I'm expecting to see some very impressive results. But Truthfully, I think those results will be so impressive that it's going to be like, wow. Well, yeah, I mean, we'll see what AI does, right? AI will be the one to do it. Are you aware of the Red Dead Redemption 2 spider Easter egg? I heard of this. I have no idea what it actually is. What is it? Even Call of Duty will avoid GTA 6? I mean, they might. Yeah, they might have to. Make sure you guys let me know where the location of the rocket launcher is. Hold on here. Rockstar is on another level, but it's a shame it takes so long to release games. Well, if you recall, there was a leak a while ago for GTA 6 that claimed that it claimed that basically every single, not every single, but like 95% of the buildings in GTA 6 will be enterable with an extremely high level of detail. And you just think about the sheer amount of time and effort that it would take to make something like that happen. But if that's true, if that's what they're doing, then like, yeah, that's something we've never seen before on this scale. And that alone, putting everything else aside, that alone would be like, whoa, that kind of is next. I mean, like, I'm not trying to make a bigger deal of it than it really is, but it's like, yeah, this has never been done before with a big, massive, highly detailed open world like this. And something like that, if they were to pull it off, raises the bar again, where it's like, okay, so who else is going to do something like this? Who else can afford to do something like this? You realize, well, yeah, I don't know. Not many. Not many can. Pretty much nobody can, truthfully. All right, let me head back over here. Just give me one sec. A spider webs found in the game and polls that have given a new puzzle to solve in Red Dead 2. I feel like they're always trying to find new stuff in these games. MBG, do you think Rockstar will launch the rumored Red Dead 2 version for PS5 and Xbox Series before the launch of GTA 6? I do. Yeah, I think that'll be something that happens in the coming months. Feels like it's been a long time coming. It feels like we've been waiting too long. But yeah, I think that's going to happen. MBG, I was just thinking that Rockstar might be one of the first third parties to get a PS6 dev kit. Yeah, that's an interesting thought. We know that first party studios are the ones to get dev kits quickest. Like they're the first ones to get them. But I would assume a big studio like Rockstar probably gets them not too long after. It's going to be fun when we see the PS6 dev kit leak. Do you guys remember when the PS5 dev kit leaked? It looked like, I don't know, people were shocked at how it looked. And it's so funny to think that when you look at that PS5 dev kit and then you look at what the PS5 ended up actually looking like, goes to show how vastly different they are. By the way, guys, I see we're approaching the 3-hour mark, so we'll probably cap this stream at 3 hours today. All right. So this will be like a last call. If you guys want to drop any more support and contribute to the member goal or become a member. Any more super chats, direct donations, this will be a last call for that. Now will be the time to do it. We have about 10 minutes or so, and I'll be wrapping it up here. The PlayStation Pizza Kit 5. Yeah, that was the big thing. It looked like you could put a slice of pizza right in the middle. Jason Schreier said Sony's changing their games lineup based on GTA 6's release timing. Yeah, he pretty much did confirm that Sony is actually basing their entire lineup around GTA 6. I wonder if this is one of the reasons why they felt comfortable delaying Soros by like about a month, because it's coming on like Soros is releasing April 30th, and I feel like you would not see Soros releasing April 30th if the May 26th release for GTA was still on the table. I think that they would have stuck with March. That's my guess anyway. But I do think that this does mean, we're going to get a state of play for Wolverine probably April or May. We'll get a dedicated state of play, and that state of play will give us the release date for Wolverine, and I think that release date will be September. I'm thinking September. Well, the more I think about it, Wolverine feels like a late September game. September 30th. Maybe. All right, well, that's a Wednesday. So, like, maybe September 29th. That could be it. And, Vidor, I don't know how to say your name, bro. It's Vitor. Vidor. Vidor? Vidor? Vidor. Vidor sounds right to me. So I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong, dude. I apologize, but thank you so much. You decided to become a channel member to show direct support. So welcome to Greatness Awaits, buddy. Very much appreciate that.
Thank you.
And that does add to the member goal. So that brings us up to 28 members on the day. Let me add that to the count. Am I saying it right, Vidor? So 28. So we got a couple minutes. Are we gonna? I don't know. Are we gonna get a member train going? Sometimes we get member trains going at the last in the last couple minutes. He's like, you said my name right. You're saying it's like Victor without the C. Vidor. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that support. Yeah, so we have let's see. So we have like 8 minutes. 8-minute countdown. We're at 28 members. Is Vidor going to be the one to start it? I don't know. Michael dropped 24. Ray dropped 5 earlier. Did Insomniac say next time they will talk about Wolverine in summer? They said spring. Yeah, they said they'll be coming back to talk about Wolverine in spring. So for me, I'm thinking like April or May. Sounds about right. Could be at the very end of March. I think spring starts March 20th, I believe. So could be the very end of March. April's probably the most likely, if I had to guess. Yeah. Please God, I want GTA trailer number 3. Yeah, that's another good question. I mean, when are we gonna see GTA again? I don't know. You would have thought when they delayed it, we would have seen a little something like more screenshots or whatever, but no, we got time. We got time yet. On my birthday would be nice. That would be nice. That'd be very cool. MBG Game Freak is confirmed to be at the Xbox Showcase with Beast of Reincarnation. Yeah, I don't know too much about that game. I'm not too familiar with it. So it'll be interesting to see that. Is that a multi-plat game or is that like a Microsoft title? Like, is that like going to be an Xbox exclusive? I think I remember seeing it revealed. It was like an Xbox Showcase or something. Let me see. Yeah, Beast of Reincarnation. So it says, yeah, okay, so it is coming to PS5. Yeah, this is a studio that makes Pokemon too, so it is confirmed to be a PS5 game. MBG, I saw your Jason Schreier post on Twitter, and people were so upset you quoted him. People were like, "Here's the real story" instead of fanboy talk. It was like one word added to the statement. LOL. Yeah, it is what it is, Chris. Like, I don't know, man. I mean, yeah, I guess I could have put the question is, if I'd put the whole quote, would it really have changed much? Probably not. Probably not. I was just trying, and you know what the thing is too? Like, I was just trying to use what he was saying with that quote to, again, explain to people, like, in case you're wondering just how big of a deal this is going to be for PlayStation, you know, because it's not exclusive. Like, it's not like, take that Xbox. It's like, no, it's still going to be on Xbox, but this game is going to be, yeah, the dam is going to bust open, man. It's going to be crazy. But yeah, Twitter's crazy, Chris. I don't understand it. To be honest, I'll be honest, man. I don't pay much attention anymore. I try to sometimes, like, I try to like people's posts if they're being like kind or polite or just decent. And sometimes I'll reply to stuff, but yeah, sometimes I just purposely choose not to read anything because I'm like, I already know what's going to happen. I already know how it's going to go down. It's not on Switch, even though it's from the Pokemon devs. That's crazy. No members lounge today, Dillo. We'll probably do another members lounge maybe next week. I don't know. I'll see how I rotate the members content in and out. But we will have more members content coming. The big thing I want to do next week is a morning with the missus. No, I haven't tried the portal with PlayStation Plus Premium yet. I don't know if I'm going to. I don't really feel the need to subscribe to Premium. If I ever do, I'll let you know. All right, guys, we're in the final countdown. 3 more minutes, and we're going to be wrapping this up. We're going to be heading out. I'm very, very tired. My body hurts so bad. Like, I know I've just been sitting here, but everything is so sore, bro. It's the final countdown. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. So we'll just sit here in silence for the next 2 minutes. All right. 2 minutes of silence. My hope is that somebody will drop memberships in that time. A moment of silence for all the memberships we didn't get. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. God, man. You think premium is a waste of money? I think it depends. I think it really depends on if you're using the cloud streaming and if you're playing the classics. If you're doing both of those things, it's probably worth it. But yeah, that's why I'm not subscribed to PS Plus Premium or Extra, because I don't see myself using either. I'm not going to get anything out of it. So unless that changes, which it could at some point, I'm just going to remain subscribed to Essential for now. For now. Finally caught up after being behind and watching the stream in 2 times speed. Well, I'm glad. Thank you for that. That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy watching me at 2 times. I do talk a little bit slow. There's some dead air in between, so I can see how it can work. Will Fable have a multi-platform release or be a timed exclusive on Xbox and PC? I think it's going to have a multi-platform release. Personally, I think it will. It could be timed though. I'm not sure, but I'm leaning more towards multi-platform. Yep, there's a 4th game rumored to be at the Xbox show coming up. So But guys, that is going to wrap up today's podcast episode. We have hit the 3 hour mark. And so I think this will be a good place to kind of put a bow on it. So, guys, thank you so much for tuning in today. Before I head out, I want to just extend a big thank you to everybody who dropped any support today. We did hit 28 members, which is great to see. Thank you for that support. We also got some super chats as well, which I very much appreciate. Again, we're totally fan funded here on the channel. We're sponsorship free. So for those of you who support in any way, it really helps you guys make it possible. So shout out once again to this community for everything. And also want to give a special shout out once again to Devil Shooter, who does the timestamps for the streams. If you guys see him in the comments with those timestamps, make sure you give him some thanks, show him some love. I know he appreciates it. And yeah, probably going to take a day off tomorrow. I think I'm definitely going to need a proper rest day because, my God, man. And then we'll be back here on Sunday and we'll hit a whole new week of content and we'll see what next week brings. This was like the first proper week of January, the first like proper work week. So, things are always going to be a little bit slower. We'll see what happens starting next week. That should be when things start to pick up at least a little bit. So, all right, guys, that's it. The only other thing I'm going to ask you to do as you're heading out is to please hit that like button. And that's it. Other than that, enjoy the rest of your day, evening, or night. And I will catch you guys in the next one. All right. So until then, take care, everyone.